CPT time. Oh,
welcome to Square and Arrogant, everybody. We're gonna get to it in just a second. Stay tuned. All right, our quote for tonight is G.K. Chesterton. Government has become ungovernable. That is, it cannot leave off governing. Law has become lawless. That is, it cannot see where laws should stop. The chief feature of our time is the meekness of the mob and the madness of the government.
Whew.
Welcome, everyone, to Aquarian Anarchy. It's our last episode of February, last episode of Black History Month. So, of course, Black Power, we put Nicco and Mike at the top. Welcome. Hotep Withit is in the building.
What's going on?
What's good with your boss, man?
Chilling, man. I appreciate y'all having me back on to do this.
Man, it's long overdue.
We would dishonor ourselves if we didn't have you back on here.
We've been missing you, bro. Missing you from the timeline, missing you from everything. I know everybody's got their limits to social media and all that stuff, and like what amount of influence you can let it have on your own personal life and everything. So I get it. I respect it. But we're glad to have you back.
It feels good to be back, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, dude, I hit my limit. Let's just say that. Before we get too deep into it, I'm just gonna say I hit my limit. I hit my wall.
Sure. And if some of the people that are watching this haven't seen the other episode, you should when this one's done, go check it out. It is one of the better ones. Again,
especially the parts where Marcus tells Mike that he's intelligent. That was a lot of fun.
He's a smart nigga. Happy Black History Month.
He one of them smart ones. I like them there smart ones. They got some intelligence.
Hey, look, at least he got it out the way before it came back around. Because look, if he said that this time around, I think we'd be canceled.
For sure.
Dude. It is an act of God that we're not canceled anyway. I'm sorry. It just is.
That is the homie. He got our back, especially for Black people around this time. It's Black History Month. I have to highlight it. Like, you have to know, it's one of the last few days of Black History Month. Oh my God, are you serious, Brody? But in light of it, I am not here to disrespect Black History Month. I applaud all of those great people who were out there and helped us out, but I also would like to expand it even more. And starting out, we got my boy Mike. He's coming back, and he's a part of Black history, just like almost every other Black individual. But we take ourselves out of that. Mike, even though it's just the name, what did you do for Black History Month?
Oh man, I almost said something. I ain't gonna say that. I'm gonna get y'all fucked up.
Dude, anymore, I don't even know what we can and can't say. I can't even say country.
While y'all are talking about this, I'm trying to pull that clip up. So give me a second. Y'all go ahead. Y'all rock. I'm gonna pull it. I'm gonna put it into the show.
Shit, I stayed out of trouble. Let's put it that way.
Hey, that's a beautiful thing. Black people seem to find their way into trouble for just being Black. So good job.
Yeah, appreciate it. You know what I mean? That was the I want to say what I thought of, but I ain't gonna say that, dude. Let's just say I'm gonna say it in a nice way. I'm in a happy interracial relationship. So you know what I did for Black History.
Oh my God.
You shared a little piece of Black with some white folks.
Damn,
I gotta
get some ancestors off.
Hang on. I gotta pull this one up. Hang on, shit. I gotta pull. God, dog, man. You had me completely unprepared, Mike. This is not fair. I was supposed to be ready for this shit. I gotta hang on just a second. Just a second.
Keep you on your toes, man.
Yeah, but I have shit ready. If I would have known that I needed to have this ready, it would have been ready already. God damn. Hang on. Where are you, Dr. Umar? Shit.
Oh God.
I can't find it.
I can feel the judgment already.
Oh God, where is it? I hate myself right now. This is terrible. Where are you, Dr. Umar?
Oh hell no.
Oh well, y'all keep going. I'm gonna try to find it.
Where'd Nicco go?
I'm having the worst. Nicco dipped. Okay, bye, Nicco. Why is he full screen like that?
I don't, because he hit something when he left.
And Nicco hit the spotlight me, and I'm out.
Right.
Hey, my light
He
went
heard
out.
Dr.
I'm
Umar.
sorry.
He went
I've been
running.
trying to fix it. It's got a shortage. I'll do this shit now.
It's
Hey, if y'all got
Black
$5
History
left,
Month,
brother,
right there,
I'll get a
Nicco.
Nicco, are you also dating a
white
white woman?
You know? I'm so sorry, everybody.
Oh my goodness. Nah. So
there we go. I have this one. I had a better one.
That's not proof. It's still debatable, but it's a good piece of evidence.
There you go. You can make all your excuses you want, Nicco, but we don't believe you.
For sure.
Anyway.
But for me, being a staunchly white dude, like I'm a staunchly white dude. They ain't no. I mean, I try like somewhere back there. There's a black dude. I guarantee it. Somewhere we might be talking about Adam. But somebody back there is way back. Right. We might be talking about Adam. There's a black dude back there somewhere. I'm certain. I know there's some Native American back in there. But from being a white dude, I personally would find it fucking offensive. The people are like, we're going to recognize your coolness this month, and it's going to be the shortest fucking month.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about sports figures.
Yep.
Sports figures and like people who fought back against oppression, but like it's not about like people who like just made some shit that's amazing. Like it's really weird. It's wild.
And I think it's gotten worse in the later years as wokeness is like taking over. You know what I mean? Because now it's like, oh, Black History Month, we're gonna celebrate Meg Thee Stallion. It's like, oh, bro, get out of here, dude.
So crucial to history. So crucial.
I think it's just gonna keep getting worse until it gets better. You know what I mean?
That's the nature of it, though, right?
For sure. But you're right, though. The woke thing's really got it bad, too. I mean, come on. We now have a woke Supreme Court justice. Because why the fuck would you announce, I'm going to get a black person and then put a black person up? Why don't you say, I'm going to get the most qualified, the best fucking person in the whole damn world, and it is a black person and a black woman, and everybody be like,
it would make sense for it to go that way, but when you look at the audience who he talking to, the very fact that he said, I'm gonna get a black woman, they happy as hell. I don't care. Fuck her credentials.
You're right.
She black. She got titties. We winning.
Right.
Married to a white man, like, it's all.
Yeah.
I mean, look, hey, it's facts are facts. Kamala, it's a trend.
It's a clown world. You know what I mean? To take it from Unc, it's clown world. You know, at this point, man, if you got an ounce of common sense and you even watching just like a small speckle of what's going on, this shit should drive you crazy. You know,
for sure.
That's politics. That's COVID. I don't even know which words you can say on this shit anymore. I don't know.
Right.
The war, whatever it is. You know what I mean? The market, the housing market, all of it. It's just like, is this really is this what we're doing?
Right.
And I'm supposed to just sit back and hands off. Like, okay,
yeah.
Thank you for the Vaseline, sir. I can touch my toes.
Right.
Sure.
That's terrible.
So speaking of and we're not talking about any country. We're going to start calling them the U.
Yeah.
Because
we're not talking about University of Miami.
Right.
Oh, damn, you can't even mention them no more. Like
no, they're going to take you down. Yeah,
you're
not supposed to talk about the Utes or the Ruskies. So
what? Oh, yeah.
Right. It was announced 2 days ago that YouTube is going to start banning the non-official coverage.
Hotep's been told you had an episode, or maybe it was just Hotep Jesus channel had an episode where it has like the 2 Live Crew sticker on it now. Yeah. Where like before you watch it, you got to tell them how. First of all, you got to be logged in so they can tell how old you are.
What?
And then you got to be like, yeah, it's okay. I'm cool with going in and watching this. It's extreme content, whatever. It may be offensive or whatever, something like that. Like,
you know what, though? I've kind of noticed that on
war in itself.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
the first casualty. The first casualty is the truth, my man.
Yeah. First casualty is the truth. Oh my gosh,
that's ridiculous.
But on that, being that we're not talking about the crazy people across the ocean and might be launching nukes, we're not talking about that at all. None of that. But being that we're not, what's your opinion on it?
No.
Wait, can't we just like?
Can I tell you what my opinion on it is? It on first? So I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nicco. What were you gonna say?
I mean, like we could not necessarily go in depth, and this code language shit is for the birds. Everybody like we're over it. Like for me to have to perform mental acrobats every time that I got to get on somewhere, and not just get on like a website, going out in person. Like my brain gets tired 10 times faster than it used to because, I don't want to start no smoke because somebody feels some type of way about a certain topic.
No, we're gonna have to start sending out a newsletter with a fucking encryption code in it so that we can so that we can be like, all right, guys, if you go to page 12, that's the code we're using today.
What was that joint from the Christmas story? The Red Rider joint had the little decoder.
Yes, exactly.
Right,
exactly. But sure. I'll tell you my take on what all that stuff that's going on over there. I love people. I love all of humanity. I don't want anyone to be harmed or anything else like that. I want everyone to live the most fulfilling life they can, and for their soul to live in eternity in union with God. Okay. Yep. That being said, I really don't give a shit about what's going on over there because every day I go through some of my own shit and I got to deal with my own shit. And all of this stuff is just like in that article that I wrote on Men of Order, like the Super Bowl is a distraction. That shit over there is a distraction. The other stuff, there's so many distractions. The Rogan shit was a distraction. All this shit is a distraction. First, there's multiple layers of this distraction matrix they put us in. The first and foremost line of defense that they have is the distract you from the shit that they're doing behind the scenes and maybe even right under your nose. But the biggest one, the one that's like the last line of defense, and it's funny because it ends up actually being the one that's the easiest for them to just keep going back to the well on and succeeding with, is distracting you from you doing what you're supposed to be doing. Right. Because you aren't doing you, and you're worrying about that shit over there. Now, what's happening to you, you think somehow is something that just got thrust upon you, and it's like, no, you didn't. You didn't put the sandbags up. That's why your house flooded. Yep. Not because some politician didn't put the right law in place to keep floods from coming in your house.
Right. Because you wasn't taking care of business.
Right. For sure.
That's the truth.
So Mike, all of that said, and I agree with Chad, it is largely a distraction. We're not. What the fuck are we going to do if these morons decide to do some shit? I get all that. Had a conversation. My daughter lives much closer to Indianapolis than I do, and Indianapolis is probably where people don't want to be. Not nearly as don't want to be in New York or DC or someplace like that, but Indianapolis is on one of those lists.
Right.
So they live closer to Indianapolis than I do, and I told them if some shit starts going down, get your shit, get to my house. And so all of that aside, and the fact that it is a distraction, what are your thoughts though on what's going on? What do you think the bigger what are they distracting us from? What are the things that are involved on it? What do you think is going on? I know that's big.
I mean, I don't know. My head goes to a couple of different places because I know that it had been a conversation when Trump was still president. You know what I mean? But Trump kind of stepped in and punked him and was like, "Yeah, I wish you would." You know what I mean? And it's like, all right, so he's out. Joe Schmo is in, and I mean, he's a bumbling fool. So it's like, I don't think their issue as of now has too much to do with us so much. I think it's just him, like, you know what I mean? The pieces are aligned. Right. And I think that as a country, we're getting so much invested into what's going on simply because of the way the social media algorithms work. You know what I mean? Like, it's all propaganda, and I mean, the biggest pusher right now is probably TikTok, and it's like, okay, well, we knew TikTok was fucking controlled opposition from the jump. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like you got all these weird ass stories, the Reaper, the Ghost of whoever, ain't gonna say no names or whatever. I mean, until somebody step foot in New Hampshire and come down to Manchester, New Hampshire, and try to fuck with me, I don't really care, bro.
Right.
You know,
for sure. Yeah, I agree with you. I want to read my response because to something because that I put on Twitter because I don't think it's got nearly as much attention as I'd like for it to gotten because this is my opinion in a nutshell. All right. The Utes put out a official from their Twitter page, put out a thing that said to the free people of the world. Well, this is straight out of the gate. This is propaganda right out of the gate. But this is what they had to say. They said, we feel your support. We see your demonstrations with our flag. We hear your chants. This helps us fight the horrific Ruski evil. The Utes hold ground. We will not fall. So all a bunch of nonsense.
They saw people waving swastikas.
Right, right. Yeah, for sure. But so they're like, okay, the people that are fucking putting the flag on their Twitter feed, they're helping, is what they're saying. So I put the flag up, right? So big fucking Ukrainian flag, Yiddish flag going across there, right? Right. I said, well, fuck. If I knew all I had to do to end a war was post a fucking flag from one of the self-righteous violent monopolies, I'd have hoisted 1,000 magic sky claws by now. All right, I did it. Y'all can stop shooting people in different funny costumes for the oligarchy. So my total opinion of this shit is that these people are distracting us from the fuckery that they've been doing for years. And go ahead.
I don't mean to cut you off, but it's like, so they got people, post the flag. The flag is just the new little black box from Instagram. Yeah, it's the same shit.
And the black box was just the France flag from like years before that. I mean, it was the multicolored flag. It's
the same shit. It's a psyop, bro. That shit. I don't want to go too deep, and I know it's Black History Month. I think it's only right for me to say it.
Right.
The civil rights movement was a psyop, bro. That shit laid the foundation for a lot of this, like, division and protest and all this. Like, there was some good stuff that happened, don't get me wrong, but on a spiritual level, that shit corrupted so many people for generations, and then we're seeing it come to fruition now. Sure. You know what I'm saying? You look at your Ryan Reynolds and his chick, you gonna donate $1 million. Then somebody posted it on Twitter yesterday, and it was crowdfunding to this army, and I was like,
what?
This shit is real.
You can crowdfund an army and not get your shit seized and frozen.
Boy, don't do
if you send it to a truck driver, fuck you. You don't ever get to have a job again.
No job. You're a terrorist. You know what I mean? You better not honk that horn, but you send it to that army. And it's like, at this point in the game, the very fact that everybody's saying that, these are the good guys, you are automatically the bad guy in my mind. Because you said that this was the worst shit that ever motherfuckers was breathing. It was in the atmosphere. We got to shut shit down, fuck up the kids and all this other stuff. It's gone. Just like the flu, pneumonia, bronchitis.
It's the transition, bro. It's the transition. That all they have to do is, if there's a shinier object, you know, they know we got ADD. They gave it to us.
They gave it. It's in the water. It's on your phone. It's that shortened attention span.
It's all that shit. The corporate and like oligarchic and like that big oligopoly that has been created with all these different big tech and big banks and all that stuff. All those things, big media especially, as the propaganda arm of all this shit, has created this squirrel sort of mentality of people, like where it's like not a month ago, like Amarion was terrorizing the planet.
B2K was running rampant.
It's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what though? It goes to show that nobody likes using their brain. It's really like very, very evident. So as you can probably scroll through all your social medias at this moment, you'll see, well, probably not you guys, but I have some solid normie people around my bracket, and all I saw was just like posted about the Schmanian people, you know, with the big U. And I'm like, wait, so your president's going to go to war, right? That makes sense, right? Like that does that compute to you? Like, this is not back in the day where, you know, you're in a samurai clan and you know, you gotta pop out. No, you don't. No, that man can go hide in a bunker for all he cares.
Yep.
And you think he's gonna go up, arm up, and start, you know, shooting people down? Like, come on now. What sense does that make? What kind of training does he have? Do you honestly think?
But see, that's the thing right there. Do you honestly think? No, they don't think, man. They let everybody they got people thinking for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And real quick, I want to share this. I'm going to put this up because when they can start talking about, we're going to go fight and we're going to do this and we're going to do that, we ain't doing shit. Let me just be clear. I ain't doing shit. Go fuck yourself. I am not fighting for this because this is what we're fighting for. I want to show this. This is, I made this week as well. Let me see if I can get it added. Take me just a moment. But this is the shit we're fighting for. We are not fighting for freedom. I know that they tell you that, oh, we're doing this and that. This is for freedom and you got to sacrifice and all that other dumb shit that they're trying to tell you. That's not the truth. This right here. This right there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're fighting for.
Yep.
And I'm not doing it.
You know,
not that they're going to come get my white ass anyway.
This is like the biggest participation trophy, and I see how it trickles through everything else. You know, kids nowadays who have phones and are on, like, for example, my little brothers are posting like Chicago might be like on the map, and I'm like, are y'all honestly like y'all really drawed up in this?
Yeah,
you know, like, come on now. Like,
bro, it's everywhere.
Everybody feels as if they need to be a part of it, and it's like, sit your ass down somewhere.
Yeah.
If they can tell you that the magic invisible enemy is going to come get you everywhere you go, for 2 years they got people still walking outside by themselves with a face diaper on.
Yep.
You don't think they can convince people? You don't think they can convince people that they might attack Chicago? Mm-hmm. If we don't like pray for NATO to do something, like, right? It's wild, man.
Right.
Oh, like, for sure.
I mean, that's their whole. And I'm gonna go back to it again, bro. That civil rights shit, dude. They turned racism into the boogeyman. They worked that formula for years on black people, and they was like, okay, create boogeymen for everybody, and send them out. You got your homophobes, your transphobes, you got your misogynists. Not to say that these things don't exist, but they elevate them into such great heights and just say that, oh, they're everywhere. Everybody gotta be scared all the time. They're gonna scare people into siding with this shit, and they're gonna be like, yeah, I'll go over here and fight for this and da 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 da. And like,
not know the reason.
Like, you wasn't essential a couple months ago, bro. They ain't give a damn about you.
Right.
For sure.
But you gonna go out here and shed some blood? Man, get out of here.
Right.
I just know that if I have to show my solidarity, I'm just gonna do this. I'm getting a turnover chain. I'm repping the U, boys. That's what I'm doing.
Oh, that's awful.
I love it. Oh god.
That's all. That's the way you got to go. Sometimes you got to bling it up, and that's the way. That's the way you show solidarity. They won't get a penny of that money. It won't do a damn thing to help, but I will feel better about myself.
Okay, but I have to say, I got to add to the conversation that what Chad just posted will help more than this guy will.
Oh my God.
Wait. Can you? Can we even show faces? At this point,
It's just a meme.
you know,
It's done now.
That's called the past. We got her handled.
Oh God,
Oh,
help us
man.
all.
So I guess to finish that up, I got one more thing I want to show.
Yeah,
And
I'd
this
like to talk about something else, to be frank.
right, for sure. But this was a good palate cleanser.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a good
For
palate
sure.
cleanser.
I don't know, man, I feel like I got shit in my mouth now. It's kind of a
For
gross
sure.
palate cleanser.
For sure. But this kills two birds with one stone, because the one this would be the one of a few of the people who that get mentioned during Black History Month. You notice that Frederick Douglass doesn't almost ever come up, but this person does. And this person gives us the best advice when dealing with all of this shit that we're dealing with in our media coming at us about this issue. This one meme captures both of those things.
If you aren't careful, the newspaper, I'm going to read it for our listening audience. If you aren't careful, the newspapers will have you hating the people who are being oppressed and loving the people who are doing the oppressing.
And that was Malcolm X.
Yep.
And it's shit like that. That's why they got him up out of there.
Word. And you know what? You know what else is interesting too? Because I wanted to ask you about this, because you brought up the stuff with the civil rights movement. So there's a lot of lively debate around this topic, but it doesn't really surface much, because it's been so beaten into everybody's heads that, like, the whole victory was Rosa Parks, standing up for not having to sit in the back of the bus, and then that helping to change stuff and everything. But like, I go back to more of that Malcolm style of just, we need to start our own bus company. Like, so I'm thinking, like, think of the energy that's expended back to, like, this stuff. Like I was talking about, distracting us from doing our stuff, building our community, building with people who want to see the world the way that we want to see it, and want to help each other out and want to help other people out, instead of, and I don't, so this is why this is more of a question, because I don't want to make this as a statement, because I can't, like, it's hard for me to put myself completely into the shoes of something like that, because I haven't experienced it like someone who looks like Mike or looks like Nicco. Let's just be frank. Like, me and Marcus being white, we don't know fully what it feels like to. I mean, I've had some things where, like, I've been in the car and I've had brothers in the car with me, and then, like, some shit goes down, and it's like there's some assumptions made because of who's in the car. And so I've kind of gotten it, like, third hand, but that ain't the same. That's not even close to the same. But what does it mean to spend all of the energy and time and everything marching and begging for acceptance from people who hate you, instead of using that time to just say fuck them and build your own shit? Is that an oversimplification, or is there something to that?
Nope, that's exactly how I explain it. Why am I asking a motherfucker that look down on me and look at me like I ain't worth a piece of, like, I ain't worth a pile of shit? And I'm sitting here begging you and asking you, see me for who I am. I'm just like you. Please see me as equal. Thank you for this month, master. You know what I'm saying? Post your black square so you can say that you, man, fuck y'all. Fuck, I ain't gonna say too much because I'm gonna piss some old heads off. But personally, I think that marching generation and all that other shit didn't do nothing. That was just for newspapers. That was just for news cycles. It was more propaganda. The motherfuckers like Malcolm that was out here and that was really ready to, like, get down and dirty. Like, yo, I don't care what you think, but I'm building for mine with people that have a like mind, whether you be black, white, or indifferent. And if you got a problem with it and you come over here fucking with it, we got something for you.
Right.
You know, but all that marching and, like, bro, what did you do? You sitting here marching and talking about Black Lives Matter and all this, bro. Like Maj said it. I think I said this on the last podcast. I don't care if you think my life matters, bro. I know my life matters. I know I run with people and they think their life matters. If you don't think my life matters and you would like to test your theory, you step out here. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I'm gonna add on to that though, because it's like in the black community, it's all about Or not, I can't say it's all about. I'll piss the old heads off. That shit back in the day. Like, come on now, bro. Like, come on. Hey, I'm gonna piss a lot of people off who didn't understand the genius of Kanye. Hey, niggas wanted to be slaves. I didn't want to be slaves, but it was a choice.
Yep.
That shit was a mad choice.
Yep.
And the thing is that niggas think that their choices have been stripped from them. Like,
no,
bro, they just like so stuck in the oppressor. My dad, oh my God, we went to the flea market. And he went to go grab a shirt. It was 4 pictures. Yeah, Rosa Parks, Obama, Malcolm X, and Martin Luther King. I'm like, to be honest, or no, it was Rosa Parks, Obama, Malcolm X, and Mandela. And I was like, to be honest, only 2 niggas on that shirt matter to me. But I can't take away from those other people's credible aspects of what they did for Black history. But it's like, if you haven't learned anything in history, it's that the niggas they put in front of you, the token niggas, ain't really it, man.
No,
they really not it. And I'm like, Dad, please don't waste money on this shirt, because that nigga Obama, cool, that was a psyops for Black people. What's it? Martin, that nigga was most definitely COINTELPRO with a couple of people. Like, stop it. And then Rosa, come on, baby, you weren't the first one. I'm sorry. You weren't the first. Like, hold your ground. But Malcolm, they most definitely didn't teach shit about Malcolm.
No,
at all.
I mean,
bro, I never knew who Malcolm X was until I was in college.
See?
Like, that's how, because I went to like just like they just going through school, because being a white kid going to like, I went to like almost exclusively white schools growing up, like in elementary and even in high school. I went to an all boys Catholic school. We had like, I don't know, we had 175 kids in my graduating class. I think maybe like 20 of them were Black or something like that, something like that. So I mean, it was I shouldn't say it, maybe not when I got to college, but it was like late, when they started putting little movies and shit like that where they tried to rewrite history and shit with some of that stuff. So I remember when I was in college, they had the at the Blockbuster. It wasn't Blockbuster, because I don't think Blockbuster had like the X-rated shit, but it's one of these little video stores that they had around the corner from campus. In their dirty section had a Malcolm X poster on the door. That was how you knew that was where the X-rated shit was. That was what they used for the X, bro. That's what they reduced Malcolm to. I was like, damn, bro, that's. But
man.
But no, they really tried not to teach that shit to anybody.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. Like, all right, so in my mind, when I look at that, and I look at if I was going to be like a total controlling or in the process of being controlling, I don't want you to be this individual that's aggressive, dominant, and perseverant. I want you to be this docile motherfucker that's going to cry about their feelings and ask for what they want, Because if I turn you into this aggressive joker and y'all motherfuckers start multiplying and you know what I mean, you start doing the thing, y'all gonna kick my ass. But if you turn into that docile joker, I just got to buck break a couple of y'all, and y'all gonna get the picture.
For sure.
And on top of that, they didn't want you hearing some of the stuff that he was saying, because he was dropping fucking game. He was dropping some serious knowledge on like what all was going on, what he knew, what he had seen, and what he had pieced together, what it all meant, and who was behind what, and what they were trying to do, what they were trying to get you off of, what they were trying to lead you to, and they don't want you. So yes, even the stuff that he was teaching in terms of like what he wanted people to try to do with themselves was one thing, but the other part of it is he was definitely like Toto pulling away the curtain so you could see the Wizard of Oz too.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
And they got him up out of here, and they was like, when y'all go to school, teach them about Martin. Don't mention Malcolm. Tell them Malcolm was aggressive and he was trying to shoot people.
It was worse. Now to I think the Goad's log over there is my friend Scott Goad too, because he had said that that he had 76 in his in his graduating class. He graduated near to a school like right next to where I went to school. That was about my graduating class as well. But you know, he didn't have any black people in his school. I didn't have any black people in my school, not one. We didn't graduate with any, but I did only graduate with about 76. But my point is, in my school, they taught about Malcolm X. You know what I was taught? Malcolm X was the violent version.
Terrorist or something.
Right. He was the violent version. You don't want to look into what he's doing because he was evil and bad. And I will also point out, to kind of caveat to that, they would, and don't be Malcolm X, when he was very when he first started off, he was violent. He was preaching that kind of thing. Yeah. And he was also preaching some hate. But that changed. And it's weird what happens with age. When we get older, we start thinking about the ideas that we had. And I think that was going on. I think his experience in Mecca led to that and all of that. But he came back different. And that difference solidified his dislike for the white liberal. It solidified his seeing how the government was clamping the fuck down on his people. So that was going on. And you pair that with more of a peaceful Malcolm, you start dealing with somebody who's saying, you know what, not all white people are bad. Yep. Not all white people are bad, because you start doing that. The Hoteps have seen this. Look, I'm wearing a Hotep Nation hat that Chad bought me, which I'm very appreciative of. But when you start saying, all right, black people are great, they have a wonderful heritage, they have all that stuff going on, and we can let white people help us out too. When you start doing that, they know. It happened in rap music. When white people started listening to what was mostly black music, it went everywhere. Yep. If Malcolm had gone everywhere, we'd have a whole lot different of a country right now. Oh, I knew it.
Let me can I push back on that a little bit though?
Sure.
Because look what happened to rap music when it went widespread and mainstream.
Agreed.
Hold on, wait.
What if Malcolm had gotten co-opted by the people who run the music industry now?
They would have cloned him.
You know what I mean? They'd have done some. What were you gonna say, Nicco? I'm sorry.
Nah, I mean, we could say that about the rap industry, but let's follow where the money goes. Rap was going to be great. Let's point that out. Rap was going to actually be great, be constructive, but when the money takes a hold of it and you see who's around the money, rap ain't shit now. So the way that it's pushed out is different. Malcolm, on the other hand, his message would have stayed the same. It wouldn't have altered or changed. Like my man's Cassius. Cassius got a mission. But the thing is, there's not many people like Cassius. The rap industry is probably going to throw sandbags on my man because of what he's saying. You feel me?
For sure. Well, the good thing he's got going for him is he raps and isn't doing, like, I don't know, Young Thug singy rap and everything. So it's like it's almost like if you stay over there, if you stay in like traditional old school rap, like, and not this like new I don't know, like, so like I'm a big fan of Black. Like I think he makes really good music. He hasn't been as productive as he was for a couple of years there, but he does that same sort of stuff. But yeah, that sort of, I don't know, Drake, Young Thug, even like, I don't know, even if you go to like the Baby and stuff like that, like it's a different type of even though it's rap, it's not the same. Like no, the rap has, the whole setup of it has changed.
Do you think it kind of spurred off like how rock did?
Maybe, I guess. I don't know. I mean, we don't have electric guitar solos anymore like we used to. Like that used to be like a staple.
There's no good rock.
I got a theory for rap.
All right, bring it.
All right, so we went to war after 9/11, 2001. We went to Iraq. Opium sales skyrocketed. You look at hip hop skyrockets, and then we got lean. And then you see the benzos and everything hit suburban America the same way hip hop did. I think they used hip hop as the front man and the drug dealer to push the opium they was taking out of Afghanistan. Take my tinfoil hat off, and I'm gonna sit back now.
Right here, big boy.
You know what though? Oh yeah, now I'm gonna take it to that. I could see that happening because rap is nothing but spell casting, and all you're doing, all the times the music is being played together in different areas. So it's like when we had our boy Augustus on here, he talked about how they made contact is because multiple people thought of it. If you got multiple people, hundreds and thousands and millions of people listening to that same wave, putting out that same energy, all you're gonna do is just sprinkle the shit into existence.
That's all it is. They turned a whole generation of kids into fucking drug addicts that don't have no consideration for human life at all. You know what I mean? It like I'm 20, I'm almost 30. You know what I mean? When I go outside, I'm not worried about a motherfucker my age. I'm worried about these little 14, 15-year-olds that don't care. Right. That's running around, hopped up on whatever the fuck they smoking or drinking these days. They just don't care about life. Them little jokers scare me, bro. You know what I mean? And hip hop created them, but I feel like they did that shit on purpose. I mean, of course they did it on purpose. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say I feel like they did that shit on purpose. You know,
for sure, it seems that way.
But that's the way of the way that's happened to music. One of the things that I think we tend to do is I think that the Black community is hit harder than almost any other community. That is a given. That is fact. But you can see it in other communities. You can see, like, where's the good heavy metal? Where's the rebellion? Where's Anthrax? Where's early Metallica? Where are the antisocial fucking heavy metal that could not be stopped? That was all
should I settle for Muse at this point?
Right.
Right. Go back to Muse.
Right. At this point, where talking about rap, where's NWA? Where's Public Enemy? Where are they at? They're not there because they cannot get into the music industry.
Conscious rap is dead. That shit's over. That conscious shit, the last hope as far as conscious rap, in my opinion, this is like, you know what I mean? This is a spark of debate, like hip hop heads and everything like that. The last hope for conscious hip hop, you got J. Cole, Benny the Butcher, the whole Griselda squad. And Kendrick kind of.
He's leaning somewhere though. You
see, that's why I said kind of, because he kind of.
I mean,
he's into that wokeness shit. I'm like, I can't mess with that. But for sure,
it's a lot of the underground rap. You got I am biased as fuck. I don't care. New York has got some fire ass artists. Yeah, and I will say, if you like conscious shit, Flatbush Zombies, them niggas is dope. You got who else? Earth Gang is nice. You got the people in TDE. People in TDE are nice. Like they're not woke, but they're understanding. You know, they don't follow.
But see, I don't know that whole Isaiah Rashad, and I'm not gonna go into details behind that. But
no, we don't even bring that nigga up.
I got to, bro, because he part of TDE, and it's like we was talking about Kendrick and his leaning, and I feel like they like secretly. Like they can't brand themselves and come out as too mainstream or too like corporate or whatever, you know what I mean? So they put on this facade or this persona as though they woke and they with it because it sells, and that's how Kendrick popped off. So Kendrick's gonna be the front runner of this label. Y'all all gotta follow suit. But then we see Isaiah get exposed, and I listen to deeper into what Kendrick's features and shit sound. I'm like, you a plant, bro. You're a plant.
Yeah. All over the place. So I do think, though, that Nicco's got a good point. I think the underground is going to come back. This all comes back to because why music matters to the people that are out there and don't understand. Music gives you that thing in your heart that gets you pumping forward. Music like Cassius Cam uses in that kind of music can get you ready mentally to start in your mind processing and moving forward. Another that kind of woke in our kind of sense, awake music that brings you to a consciousness level that can't have that prevailing. But at the same time, all of the underground is that. Everything that is popping under the radar is that. They could not stop the Grateful Dead. The only thing that stopped the Grateful Dead was somebody dying. You know, when Jerry Garcia died, the Grateful Dead more or less died. Had he not died, that undercurrent, and you can say whatever you like about their politics, they were about dropping out of society and starting your own thing, being your own thing. And now, sure, the Grateful Dead had a bunch of people really fucked up turn around with them, but the primary message was things like peace, love, and happiness and freedom and those kinds of ideas. And actually they got upset that so many people were just focused on the drug use and all of that. But you could not have stopped them, because they would have toured regardless and made shit tons of money, regardless if they were getting a record deal, regardless if they were being put in some stadium. They'd find a park and start playing. That's the kind of shit that gets through, and that's the kind of shit that sets a world free. And so to tie both freedom and music together, you know, the oppression that we're seeing, John Locke said that the only thing that causes people to get into a seditious commotion is oppression. And what we're seeing is that oppression within the music industry and within our lives. I want to kind of, now that we've kind of been talking for a while, I want to get to some of that oppression and some of those troubles that you've had, Mike, and tell us about your past year.
So I guess I'll give a little backstory. Like, for those that don't know, you know what I mean? I was on Twitter. I jumped on like 2019, kind of blew up in the sense of being like a black, I guess if you asked other people, like some of the followers, they would say, oh, he's a black conservative. You know what I mean? And I would say that moniker kind of fit for a time until I found the libertarian, the liberty-based side of things. And then I started leaning more that way. But even going that way, it's like keeping it strictly political. Like, I saw the way the Libertarian Party, like their social politics, the way they treated people that were trying to come into the space, and you know, the way it was like the high school games and shit. I saw the way that was going. I was like, all right, well, I don't feel the conservative thing. I see the way y'all play. So I'm going to fall back, and I don't want the label. I'm just Hotep. You know what I mean? And that's when, like, I talked about it here and there on Twitter, but I found like the anarchist side, and I was kind of like, let me just do some research, get to know myself. Cool. Then COVID happened. And, you know, I'm trying to think of a polite way to say this without like insulting majority of the population. You know,
no, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Go ahead.
You said fuck it, just send it.
Fuck it, bro. Fuck it.
Just send it.
Bro. Full send it, bro. Full.
It's a lot of dumb motherfuckers out here, bro. It's a lot of bot ass, like NPC ass Sims players out here that don't have a lick of common sense, that can't think for themselves, that wouldn't know how to wipe their ass. If you told them, like, bro, if you told these motherfuckers the sky was orange, they would believe you.
If you told them to strap a triple dick dildo onto their forehead to prevent it, they would have done it.
They would have done it, bro. It's
without saying pause. But
I'm just saying,
it's true. And it's like, so for me, like watching it on, like being on Twitter during that whole situation, it was like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? And then like I was on Facebook and Instagram too. And like the normies and everything like that shit, like it kind of irked me. You know what I mean? Because like Nicco mentioned earlier, like trying to do those mental gymnastics to not start no arguments or to just make sure people didn't feel like you brushed them the wrong way or you were insensitive. It's like, all right, I will play this game with you. On social media, I'm gonna talk my shit, but in real life, I'm gonna chill because I don't really like arguing like that, especially not in person. Like we're not gonna sit here and yell at each other. I'm from an old generation. We're gonna yell a couple times and I gotta hit you or something. You know what I mean? Just keeping it real. So it was like that, you know what I mean? And then like the lockdown happened. I was considered essential, whatever. I was outside the whole time. Like even if I wasn't, you can't keep me in the house.
Well, you were doing the landscaping stuff, and then you switched to doing something else, right?
Yeah, I was doing landscaping, and then I moved into I was doing the purchasing for the diabetic supplies and everything like that. And that's considered essential too. So like I said, I was outside the whole time. And I was never one for the masks. That's simply just based off research, bro. Like not me just being rebellious enough and just like, yo, tons of peer supported fucking paperwork and scientists, the same people they kicking off YouTube. I'm just going off. You believe that? That's cool. I'm not gonna argue with you, but this is the information I believe. So I'm not gonna do that. You can't make me. You can try. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So all that being said, then the V word stuff happened.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I mean, y'all already know. Like, it's not even a conversation to be had. I ain't getting that.
Same here, yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't even got to talk about. Like,
Same.
my mom
No.
knows at this point. She don't even ask. My pops knows. Like, yeah, don't even bring that shit up around me, right?
Same.
Mm-hmm.
So I had kind of left it alone, and I was starting to see how, like, oh, well, you gonna lose your job, you can't go to school, and all this other stuff. And I was advocating for the people that were standing up for themselves, and I took that position, like, well, you know, don't be peer pressured into doing something to you, because, like, if you around my age, you grew up with the DARE program, say no to drugs.
Yeah.
They taught us at a very young age, don't be peer pressured into doing something, especially something where you can't ask no questions to get no solid information.
Right.
Don't do that. You know what I mean? So I already like was moving around with that persona, like, yo, I don't believe shit. Everybody around me is a bot. You out here with you a bot. Face dipe, you a bot. It didn't get like real until that shit crossed the threshold of my household. So I'm not gonna go like too far into detail because it's her business, it's not my business, but nurses were essential.
Yeah.
But then you weren't essential unless you did such and such.
Right.
And it was like, okay, like her job would have been solidified, but she going to school, you know what I mean? And it was like, all right, well, we didn't already took out personal loans, private loans, all this other shit, so you could go to school, blah, blah, blah. You've been banging this out. And now all of a sudden in the last semester, well, you can't come if you don't. And it was like, all right, well, I'll file your exemption paperwork and cool, da-da-da-da. I submitted that shit, and I'm talking less than 12 hours later, they had already got back like, nah, denied. And I was like, wow. All right. And, you know, we had kind of had a conversation, and I mean, putting it in a nutshell, she had to do what she had to do. I can say that now without getting upset and like flipping this desk over and shit.
Right.
But for like a solid 30 days after that moment, after she told me it had happened, bro, I was not okay. And I can say that because, like,
I saw that.
You know what I mean? Like, during that time where I stepped away from social media, I did a lot of soul searching. And one of the biggest things that I took from myself was that it's okay to not be okay, but you have to, like, identify why you're not okay. And it's not because, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not emotional. I'm not no, like, little bitch or nothing like that. It's because, like, I was raised a certain type of way, and I view this country in a certain type of way. And you're not supposed to be peer pressuring nobody into doing something they don't agree with, especially not from a medical standpoint where you can't show me what's going to happen in 6-7 years. You don't have no information for 3 years. You don't have no information for 6 months. Everybody that got that shit is a crash test dummy. And I'm supposed to be okay with that. Like, no, nigga, you violated, bro. I feel like somebody came in here and slapped my people. The way I was raised, like, somebody got to get some get back off this.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I feel like if enough people really, like, went primal back to that state and kind of
Mark
like,
Hemeyer style,
you know what I mean? We can fix some shit, but I can't say too much because they'll put you on a motherfucking list and end up knocking on your door with the mouth.
Dude,
talk too crazy.
I'm gonna tell you, like I told Hotep Jesus, dude, that I named my NSA agent Felicia, and that way when I hang up the phone, I can say bye, Felicia. But, dude, I and this goes for Chad too. We were members. I was a very key member of Adam Kokesh's campaign. Our platform was the peaceful dissolution of the federal government. If I'm not on a list, somebody's not doing their job. Right. so I don't even fuck with that shit anymore. I don't even care. I just figure when I get my mail a week later than somebody else does, I assume. So I just don't fuck with it because I agree with Buddha. Buddha said that freedom is in the mind. And for me, I live free. I spent this entire past weekend with my wife, had a wonderful time out doing our thing. And I not one time thought about the government, thought about what they were doing, didn't care. It's saying not one time is not true because I was on Twitter, but but largely, I didn't think about it because they don't play a role. But in your particular case, they played a role.
Yeah.
And for me, when it really hit home, I guess hit home. It was two things. First of all, my sister-in-law, who is a nurse, got it. And like her dad wasn't very nice about it, and he's a wonderful man. I'm not trying to cast shade to him. He's a wonderful man, but he's like me. There's no way I'm getting this shit. Fuck this shit. It's Mark of the Beast. Fuck that. And he kind of laid into her a little bit about her getting it. And I felt like that was wrong because those are her choices. I can disagree with her all day long. I can give her the information that I feel she should have before getting it. But in the end, that is her decision. Number two, when I got the Bumblebee variety, and when I got it, it wasn't shit. Yes, I got sick, but it wasn't shit. So those two things coupled told me that this isn't something that government should be involved in at all. Not that I ever thought it was, but this is when it hit home. This is not something government should have any fucking. And now I'm an anarchist, and I don't believe that government should be doing anything. I don't think it should exist. Right. But if you're gonna have one, it should follow its fucking rules. And it seems pretty goddamn clear that in the Constitution, you're not supposed to force any shit on people that they didn't opt for.
Yep.
Nobody pay attention to that shit because they can't even recite you even the first word of the Constitution.
Right. That's why they don't teach it.
But what we got to recognize too, though, is that they were really slick about this shit. Yeah. What they did was they went through all these other, and even when they tried to do it, when Biden tried to do it with his executive order and everything, it was to go through OSHA to make the companies do it. And then he went through like the NHS, or the whatever, not NHS, that's other countries, but anyway, it's the like Medicare and Medicaid. If you receive Medicare and Medicaid funding, then you have to make your employees get it or whatever. They went that route. And that's the one that they lost at the Supreme Court. The OSHA people won, which is, I mean, that kind of hit me personally because that was going to be interesting for what I do for a living. And there's a whole bunch of other people who would have gotten caught up in that and would have had to make some decisions. We'd have been out here, gulagging ourselves to try and we would have been doing what we were talking about before with Malcolm and Rosa and all that stuff. Would have been like, well, guess I got to build my own whatever it is, and just I don't need your job anymore. And I've already started. That's what this right here is one of the things that and this one right here too, like where we are. It's a slow building process. But it's you do what you can, and you try to make the most of whatever situation you're in, so that if some shit happens, it's less that it's happening to you, and it's more like just something it's an obstacle that you just kind of juke and dodge. But they were real slick about like not really needing the Constitution to play a role in this shit.
And I think that was one of the problems that I took, I'd say the most personal, you know what I mean? Because so when I grew up, I was never like heavily involved in politics. It wasn't something me and my parents talked about. So I didn't really start learning about like conservative, liberal, because I can't remember them teaching it in school. I'm not gonna say they didn't, but like on a personal level where I found interest myself enough to go do my own research and form my own opinions and shit, I was like 26, like 25, 26. So it's like in the last 3 years. So in 3 years, I bombarded myself with all this information, built up the Constitution, conservative, liberal, you know what I'm saying, fascist, communist, like all this shit. Like, looked into this like heavy details of the Holocaust and the way the German government and all this other shit. And then this happened, and I was like, have you motherfuckers never read a book, bro? Like, you don't see this? You ain't never read 1984. You don't know what they did, Nuremberg trial, all this. Like, you don't know nothing about this. Because when you talk to a normie and you start bringing up stuff like that, and like, oh, you sound like a conspiracy theorist. Well, nigga, you sound stupid.
Right.
Like, all right, I'll be a conspiracy theorist. At least I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
At least I can conform or like create a theory while your ass is over here.
At least I can formulate my own thoughts and come up with some shit that's like, it's not like, oh, it's a theory. Like, no, nigga, this shit is happening.
Like for my ass to sit down,
happening.
For me to sit down and like compile all this evidence, you can call me a crazy ass crackhead all you want, but at least I took the time and used my fucking brain.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. And it's like a motherfucker be like, oh, well, I saw this on Facebook.
I watched Anderson Cooper.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, Trevor Noah said Baze. I'm like, bro, I don't give a fuck what Trevor Noah talk about. Who signed that nigga checks? That's who I want to talk to.
Fact.
Right. Come on, bro. So like, I think that, and I think it's like one of the like least highlighted facets of the whole like lockdown pandemic situation was the mental health aspect. And the damage that shit had on a lot of people in a lot of different areas. So, like, for me, myself, like, I had that rebellious, like, aspect, which turned into anger. And you can only go up so high because what goes up must come down. Yeah. So, it's like, when I hit my drop, I was like I ain't got no shame to say it, bro. I was down bad. Like, it was bad. Like, I personally don't drink just because I know how I get.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, when I hit that drop, like, I started drinking again. And I was like, I had probably like a solid, like, 3-4 weeks on that shit. And then I was just like, all right, something got to change. This shit's taking a toll. It's pushing you to be somebody you stop being and doing things that you said you wasn't going to do. Relationships is getting fucked up. Like, you kind of got to step back.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I got rid of all the social media. I was like, 30-some thousand followers is cool. You know what I mean? You probably got... out of that 30-some thousand, you probably got like a solid 7,000-8,000 of just opposition is there to troll and shit. But a large facet of that is yes men.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you got solid motherfuckers that come very few and far between. Like y'all, you know what I'm saying? But then it's like all those, like, I guess you could call them good trolls that are just there to like piggyback off the shit you say.
Yeah.
And it's like
or twist what you say.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And it's like, I know I'm not in the wrong, but my energy behind this shit is toxic. And so when I say these things that are fueled by toxicity and you piggyback it, it just evolves. So I had to turn that shit off and just get back to ground zero and like recalibrate myself. I feel good now. Like I'm straight. Like I personally, like I said, I don't give a fuck. Unless you come knock on my door, try to do something to me, touch me and my people's like, right. Do what you gotta do.
But so, all right. So but when you talk about what? Oh, that's nice. Yep. I like it.
Yep.
When you talk about like just killing all that stuff and the I don't know the break that takes away from that, because I'm trying to think of that in from the perspective of like what I was talking about before, where building Men of Order, building Aquarian Anarchy, like that shit kind of requires this shit, on a certain level. Like I if we're not doing this, then we're not building what we're trying to build.
Right.
And I realize that a lot of what we're doing is we're just talking. We're talking to some really cool people, but we've also started to do some things, some other things. And I also think that there's a role to be played for people who can give someone a perspective that maybe they're curious, that they think they might believe is a path that they could follow. But maybe they're not quite sure. And it helps to have people bring it from, 'cause I think one of the things that's valuable about what we do is there's a lot of people out there pushing libertarianism, pushing anarchism, all that sort of stuff. But like from the very beginning, when Marcus created this channel, he created this channel with the express purpose of it at the same time accomplishing two goals. One was to explore self-ownership and also to explore the divine and the eternal. And I can't help but think that part of what we have witnessed in the last couple of years has been an attack on both.
Yes,
for sure.
And that I can't not do this.
Right.
Because to me, this seems like I don't know anybody else who's out there doing except for the Hoteps, like where it's a focus on self-ownership and self-mastery, and also a focus on the eternal.
Right.
For sure.
Like these are things that like you have to either be one or the other. You have to be an atheist who is into this shit, or you have to be a Christian who's either red team, blue team.
Mm-hmm.
And those are your choices. And you don't get to mix those other two together and actually talk about it, because you might piss off the atheist anarchists, or you might piss off the Christians who love them some Ted Cruz. You know what I mean? Like there's or whoever. It's I don't know. It's just I'm wondering, like when you decide, like, all right, I'm going to kill all that social media stuff and everything, and I think you had something going. Like you had like a really strong. You had a big following, and I get what you're saying about the negative trolls and the positive trolls. But you were on the way to something that could have been big and could have like even freed you from some of the stuff that you've had to deal with in some of the work and different things like that too. So like, did that stuff go through your head? Like battling with like, fuck man, I'm like on my way to something,
100%.
But I got to turn it off. Otherwise I'm going to be dead. Yeah.
100%. Cause I mean, like before that had happened, like if you Google it, like the average person only has like 500 something followers on Twitter. Like, you know what I mean? As soon as you move above, I think it's like 3,000, you enter that like real small, like 1%.
Yeah.
And so it was like, I was up there and I was like I could just turn it off. I could just log out. I could just do all these things. You know what I mean? But then I was like,
keep the account, but don't. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, nah, bro, like this shit, like the whole like COVID situation had pushed me so far away from what I felt I was as a Hotep, and pushed me away from who I was as a person, like as a father, as a partner, and as a son. Like I was fucking up relationships behind this shit.
Okay.
Like I was going that hard at normies. Like I like my mom, my dad, friends. Like I was cutting people off left and right. I'm arguing with people just like out. Like, bro, I was wilding because the shit didn't make no sense, and I couldn't get any answers. You know what I mean? And there's nowhere I can go to get answers. You can't talk about the shit on YouTube, Google pushing me certain answers and shit. You talking about, oh, you got a list of people, you gonna start calling people terrorists and all this other shit. Like what? Like, you know what I mean? It kind of just put me into a box. And just me as the person I am, I don't like feeling boxed in. I start wilding, throwing elbows. I gotta kick some dust up and shit. Like, you know what I mean? I gotta start freaking out.
Sure.
So it was like Twitter, like I understand where you're coming from, because it was like, yeah, I was on my way and I was building something. I had a foundation into some shit, but my foundation on Twitter was based on Trump. And I went through this moment where I blamed that motherfucker for all of this. Because it was like that vaccine shit, like, yeah, nigga, you did that. Like at the end of the day, like you started this. For sure. They just built off the foundation you laid for them. You should have came out just off jumping, was like, go get it if you want it. You know what I mean? I would have had no problem with that. But like even before I deleted it, arguing with people, oh, he was doing what he had to do and da-da-da. Like, motherfucker, don't nobody ever have to tell somebody they have to go do some shit or your whole life is fucked up. Sure. Like, that's not what the country built on. You know what I mean? And if I'm wrong or you see me in that light, then I built a bad foundation. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, I could have kept it, but there's no way I'm going through fucking like 20,000 or 40. I think it was like 50,000 tweets and deleting. Like, I'm not going to delete shit. Like, fuck that. Scorched earth, start over.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean? Because it's like, it's the same message. I'm the same person. If you fuck with me, you fuck with me.
Right.
It resonates all the way through and through. Your voice and your messages are clear cut, and they're like I said, man, I love your messages. Like that shit helped me get through COVID. Like every time I'd see you pop up with your dreads and they'd flop message, and I was like, "Ooh, what? Who did it now? Who did it now? Who's gonna get their ass beat? Like I am here for this world star." Like that's how I came. Like every time, like you would be dropping a video. So I genuinely do like love how you come at this this whole kabuki theater, like your mental perspective on this. And as a brother, so shouts out, don't forget it's Black History Month, everybody. But like as you like presented yourself and like brought these options, it made it a lot clearer for me to be able to have certain conversations with people and like broke things down so I wouldn't fly off the handle. Like in certain cases I would, but I'm like, oh well, since he brought it and put it in this perspective, I'll be able to have a civil conversation with somebody opposed to me wanting to rip their face off.
Yeah. You know, like, and it's funny you mentioned that because I think that right there was the straw that broke the camel's back, bro. Because I talked to Hotep Jesus one day at work. I talked to this motherfucker for like a solid hour, bro. Like I called him like in the middle of my shift. I was like, dog, I need to talk. Can't keep this shit in my head. I've been tweeting about it. They flagging my tweets, like blah, 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 right? And so I'm talking to him, and I get off the phone, but before I go, I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go on live. I'm gonna air this shit out. They're gonna block my live, da da da. And I don't know how, bro, but Instagram knew I was trying to go live and blocked my shit for a solid 30 days. And I lost it. I was like I didn't post nothing. Like, how do you know I was about to do this?
Damn.
And I couldn't talk. I couldn't do nothing. And I got on Twitter, and I don't know, I was live for maybe like maybe 6 minutes, and then they cut down. And I was like, what the fuck? And it just pissed me off because I was like, dude, I'm fighting a losing battle on a platform that the enemy controls. You know what I mean? And I was just like,
a bitch.
Yeah, and I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. Cut him off. But now, like, after doing that, like, kind of soul searching, it's like, all right, bro, yeah, you might control this shit, but I step how I want to step. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do what I want to do. I got my own dance moves, nigga. Like,
facts.
You know
well, first of all, you got to come with it, like Sun Tzu said. You cannot attack a superior force head on. You can't do it, but you can. So that's a Sun Tzuism. But another Sun Tzuism is all of these are right out of the Art of War. If anybody wants to go read it, I strongly suggest it. It will help you on a lot of things. But use the tools the enemy uses against them. You know, when they keep telling us to go to Gab or to go to Getter or to go to MeWe or go to any, fuck all that. We have to be where the eyes are. Yep. We have to.
That's why we're still on YouTube. Like we could be somewhere else, but like the facts are the facts. Like this is where you get seen. So like, this is
where it's at. Like you were saying, they push you to Gab or Getter or fucking Truth Social and all that. Like, no, bro. Like you trying to get me off of this because you know this is where everybody's at. So this is where I'm gonna drop this gasoline, and if it catch fire, motherfucker, that's on you to put it out. But every time you put it out, I got another match, motherfucker.
I do think it's funny that they called that other one Getter. Like it's like they're telling you it's a trap.
Right.
Like Getter.
Yeah.
Get that bitch. Get her. I was singing that Jurassic Park. Shoot her! Shoot her! That's what Getter is to me.
Yeah, for sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, oh yeah, it's about that time. If y'all wants to help us off the plantation, throw the $5. If y'all want to build a stronger community, throw that $5. If y'all want freedom, throw the $5, please. All I'm saying is join the Patreon, like and subscribe to the show, and also please go show love to my man Hotep Withit. Like it's mad ignorant for y'all not to go and show him love like y'all usually did. Like, come on now.
Yeah, he told you he had 30,000 followers. We got to get him back
that
up.
army back.
Build it up. You feel me?
Build with it better.
You feel me? So like, all in all, these kind of podcasts are for us to grow and to expand our knowledge, and not just our knowledge, to get things off our chest, because you know we all need outlets. And sometimes the outlets that we have are corrupting, and then we just got to take a step back. But when we step back and we come forward again, guess what, bitch? I'm better than I was last time. Right now, we better. We better because we always building. We always got a community that's got our back, and we always are going to be stepping forward to doing something better for the whole society. Fuck it, for life. Like, for why? Look, you can get mad at us all you want. But we trying to just drop some common sense to you so you can live your life better. Right. That's it. That's all. But you getting mad at me because I'm offering suggestions. Get up, man.
Hold up. They're going to get mad at y'all and us, y'all for having these conversations. I'm going to say this. We didn't shut down the Keystone Pipeline. I ain't got no money laundering deals over there in that country I can't talk about no more.
Get them.
You mad at me? I ain't made gas about $6 a gallon to go ahead and hold your motherfucking breath.
Right.
Oh, speaking of that, I y'all know I didn't have a car for a while, so I'm driving my homie's car. Long story short, I'm using this car. Nigga, gas is $4 out here. I was ready to smack somebody grandmama. Sorry, somebody grandmama, but like somebody was trying to get it. Like I was pressed. I was absolutely shocked at what I gotta like paying for gas right now.
Nicco was like that too. When you go to pick up, you'd be like, all right, so a 6-piece nugget is $1.39. How much is it for one nugget?
That shit had me blown. But
of course, that shit's from like 25 years ago, so it ain't $1.39 anymore for a 6-piece nugget. It's like $7 or some shit. Yeah, exactly. Oh shit! I remember I used to, when I was in college, we used to go like we'd go out and stuff, and we go to McDonald's and get it was like a Big Mac, a drink, and a fry or whatever, the little whatever they called it, the fucking meal deal. That shit was $2.99.
Damn.
$3.23 after tax. So that's what we used to say when we were out and stuff like that. We'd be like, after we leave the club, we're gonna go $3.23 it, and that was like our post club meal.
Hey,
that was it.
Like to all the grandma and older people that like drive like when gas was like 89 cents, and then they turn around and they look at the gas prices. Have there been like an increase of heart attacks or something? Because like this shit is ridiculous.
No, it's been an increase of heart attacks, but it ain't the gas prices doing that.
Shit.
Don't give them that, Nicco. Do not give them that shit.
It was on purpose. It was on purpose.
They tried to blame it on fucking missiles that the fucking umpires were using. So don't give them that shit.
Oh my god!
I mean, all these random sports athletes just falling out in the middle of their competitions and shit. I'm gonna fall back.
But they the healthiest niggas on this planet, right?
You're talking about the most elite human beings on the face of this earth making $1 million just randomly dropping dead. Like, nigga, technically I'm obese. Let's just keep it a band. You know what I'm saying? I'm healthy as a motherfucker. I didn't caught that shit 3 times, and I'm deep breaths, nigga. Fuck you.
They got these commercials now where they're like, taking a vacation is the best way to prevent the long, bug attack.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and they got like it's all young people that they got doing the ads too. It's all like 20 somethings and 30 somethings and stuff like that. I'm like, man, y'all not slick. I see y'all coming from a mile away. Every time there's a new age bracket that they're trying to get approved, that's when that's the new variant hits that age group the worst, allegedly. And I'm like, y'all think y'all are slick? Like, this shit is fucking transparent as hell. But I guess they are slick enough because they got kids lining celebrating
4 hours.
They got parents got their kids celebrating that they finally get theirs.
Yep. Oh, trust me, like my daughter know. She know. You gonna go get that? I don't want that. You ain't touch me with no needle. That's what I'm talking about. But fucking, y'all know how like when you watch TV and they had a new medicines, like whatever the fuck, like, oh, this is the HPV shot. Oh, this is the stop pneumonia shit. So I watch TV here and there. I got this one show on TV. It's called Forged in Fire with a blacksmith.
Oh yeah. That's a great show,
that shit code. That shit code.
Look,
son.
I forged this on my 3D printer. It's not Forged in Fire, but it is
that's slick as hell.
Forged in plastic.
That's slick. You get. I ain't gonna say that on here.
Yeah, it was just. It's to practice. It's to practice.
Is there any metal on that at all?
No.
Not at all.
None at all.
Fuck Magneto up with that joint.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Bro, these little serrated things
Make
can.
a tomahawk out of plastic. Come
Oh
on.
damn!
Yeah.
But what was I say? Oh, the commercials with these new like medicines and all this other shit. If you listen to what they say at the end of these new commercials very closely, if you've had any recent vaccinations, please talk to your doctor first because it may affect the way that this medicine works. And I'm like, so if I went and did the mean because you said I couldn't go to work and I wasn't essential, but now I need some other shit. I can't get the other shit. Like,
Right.
Hey, this is like the side effects. You feel me?
yeah.
So guess what? Y'all got the oh, there's side effects to the side effects of the medicines that already have side effects. So there's more side effects.
Like, motherfucker, you better not take no Tylenol. Your goddamn liver.
Bro, you ever listen to a Keytruda ad? You ever listen to a Keytruda ad? That bitch is like 60 seconds long. 40 seconds of that is side effects.
Yeah.
Right.
See that, man.
But we're weird because we like herbs.
It's so bad
and healthy.
It's so bad that they got like text on the screen telling you about the benefits of Keytruda, and all the while the person is talking in the background telling you all the bad shit about it.
Right.
Like, no,
Because they can't do they don't have enough time. Right. The other part of it is they don't have enough time. They'd have to get the Micro Machines man to read the fucking copy to get it all in 60 seconds. They didn't do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
See,
like Marcus said, but we weird for liking herbs, and I'm weird for but then it came out. It was like, yeah, if you smoke weed, you know what I'm saying. The molecules help fight off the virus. And I'm looking, and I called my motherfucking mama. I was like, I told you,
I am good.
I'm good.
Yeah.
No, stop. Get that shit off the screen, man. Oh, man. Try fucking. Damn, man. You don't know shit about algorithms, do you?
No.
Wasn't me.
Y'all shouldn't have gave black man power. And guess what? Speaking of black man in power, it's Black History Month, everybody. Don't forget.
Oh shit. No, the thing that gets me about these fucking ads though is the one that's like, is your hair falling out? Well, we've got the drug for you. Side effects could kill you. Your kidney could drop out. Your butthole will fall on the ground. I'm like, I'll deal with being bald.
Bro, I gotta find it. I'm gonna let y'all listen to this. I think it's Keytruda is the one that. No, it's Lyrica. I don't know what's the diabetic nerve pain is the.
I think it is.
Here it is. Oh, bro, did they ghost it?
Probably.
Where is it? What's the drug though? Trulicity. It's Trulicity. All right. Here we go. Yeah. All right, y'all keep talking. I'm gonna find it, and then when we were ready, I'm just gonna play all the
so
what you call it.
Let me back up 1 second and get a couple plugs in. The first one is when you were talking earlier, Mike. You were talking about that you kind of needed to get yourself centered. I think that was the right fucking thing to do. And I get that you might have lost some followers on Twitter. Some people might be disappointed, whatever it is. You did what was right for you. You did what was right for your soul. You did what was right to make your connection to God greater. And that's what we should be doing. There's a really great song that's out right now. And this is where I get my 2 plugs. The first plug is for Hi-Rez and Jimmy Levy. They just put out a fire song. If you haven't checked it out, go to my Twitter feed, search down a little bit, you'll find it. It's called God Over Government. It is fucking fire. You should check that out. On top of that, I want to put a plug out.
Who is this? This is
the guys Hi-Rez and the ones that did the I Will Not Obey.
Yeah. I
just found it.
Yeah, it's fan-fucking-tastic. I strongly suggest that. So there's that. The second thing I've tried, dude. I would so have them on. The second thing that I want to post out is because that was based on what Mike was talking about. This is based on that we're plugging somebody who raps, and somebody who raps wrote rap inspired by us. So I want to give a quick a quick plug to our buddy RxSex, and that's XSECTS. You can find him in my friends on Twitter, and his songs on there as well. He wrote a song inspired by us called AA, and I really fucking suggest it. It's really good. He's excellent, and I want to give him a plug as well. But my larger point really was, right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But my point really was that I think, Mike, you did the right thing, because God, one of the things that's been happening to me personally as my spiritual journey continues is I keep going back to the Sermon on the Mount, and that really does need to be the only thing I fucking need. That's my rule book. Y'all can have the whole Bible. I don't care. I need the Sermon on the Mount, and God takes care of us. He takes care of the animals of the field, and he takes care of the wheat and the birds of the corn, the birds of the air. He takes care of all that shit. He'll take care of you. This is this is only temporary, and making the kinds of decisions that you made were the right decisions for you and your family. And those are way more important than some Twitter followers, or even, and people are going to get mad at me for this, and I don't really give a fuck. But at the end of the day, it is more important than being a member of the freedom movement. It is more important than talking to people out there. Yep. Your family is vastly more important than what you think your importance is. Because
it's not just that. It's if you aren't taking care of that stuff, you're no good to the freedom movement.
Exactly. Like that's where
the problem with the world is full of people trying to solve the world's problems, and you can't even fucking get a job.
You can't fix yourself first. Because my dad hit me with one of those, like, it's a quote he used to tell me back when I was in high school, but he was like, yo, if you on an airplane and shit get weird and the turbulence kick up and the mask drop down, the first thing they tell you is put yours on first and then help those around you. Because if you can't take, like, the way I look at it is like, bro, everybody's a cup. And if your cup is cracked and you can't hold water, how you gonna put water in somebody else's cup? Right. You gotta get your shit straight first. You know what I mean? And that's, like you said, that's where I was at. I was just like, you know what? Let me fix me, make sure my family good and everything straight around here. And then when I'm ready, I'll dibble dabble back over here.
Right. Well, we're glad to have you back, and I'm glad and happy to recommend that you don't take Lyrica.
So go ahead and let us hear this.
Diabetic nerve pain. These feet served my country, carried the weight of a family, and walked a daughter down the aisle. But I couldn't bear my diabetic nerve pain any longer, so I talked to my doctor, and he prescribed Lyrica.
Nerve damage from diabetes causes diabetic nerve pain. Lyrica is FDA approved to treat this pain. Lyrica may cause serious allergic reactions or suicidal thoughts or actions. Tell your doctor right away if you have these, new or worsening depression, or unusual changes in mood or behavior, or swelling, trouble breathing, rash, hives, blisters, muscle pain with fever, tired feeling, or blurry vision. Common side effects are dizziness, sleepiness, weight gain, and swelling of hands, legs, and feet. Don't drink alcohol while taking Lyrica. Don't drive or use machinery until you know how Lyrica affects you. Those with an alcohol problem may be more likely to misuse Lyrica.
Now I have less diabetic nerve pain, and my biggest
my man did that for less diabetic nerve pain. Not eradicating it, just less.
Yo, they should have done that commercial like, yo, if you gonna take Lyrica, take this shit and go to sleep.
Bro, yeah. Right. I got a video that my kids made with their cousins like almost 10 years ago for a drug that they made up called Dumera. And it's like, and they're like collapsing when they take it and all this other kind of stuff. This is 10 years ago, my kids made this stuff. You know what's funny about that? Well, not funny. It's kind of sad, crazy though. Funny that way, funny, crazy. On the great divide of the last 2 years, they're on the other side of it. Those cousins, my kids are like still solid as a rock, you know. But yeah, they all got their stuff. In fact, somebody who will remain nameless offered my daughter $500 to get it. I was like,
"Hey, I'm not going.
All right,
that sounds
like point noted. I will wait for the opportunity. I'm not going to actually make this offer, but I will say, hey, I'm about to offer your daughter, $500 to drop out of college or something, whatever would be like the same kind of thing to make him pissed off or whatever.
Kind of violation,
that's a heavy violation,
that's
bro.
Overstep and boundary.
Bro,
what you
need a yellow flag. Like,
you need to make a handwritten letter and apologize, just to apologize, and then when he reads it, you punch him in his fucking face because that's what
you gotta hold it like this so you can see it in the light, right?
Exactly. Don't you ever cross the line, man.
I'm not trying to do anything like that. But
I ain't gonna hold you, bro. Like, it's funny you mentioned like a price point for it. I got my number. I know what it would take for me to go sit down at a Walgreens and some shit, and I know what it would take. That bitch got 7 zeros behind it, though.
I can hook my family up forever.
Let me help you though. All right. So I would recommend that you don't do it like that. Don't put a number that way. What you have to do is the number has to represent something that actually has tangible value.
Right.
Because they can just print enough US dollars to make it to where that's the equivalent of 50 cents. So I would say it needs to be like, I don't know,
40 acres in a mule, baby.
A metric ton of gold bullion or something like that. Like that needs to be your
okay.
For me, I could do that. I need enough money to get me 100 acres. Yes, 100 acres. 100 acres.
100 acres in a mule?
Yes, 100 acres. 100 acres and all of the buildings that I desire for this 100 acres and enough money to supply my kids and my grandkids without ever having to work. Then I'll do it.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. Then we can talk.
Fuck that. I'm never doing it.
I'm not either. They're not going to do any of this shit.
No, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not even giving them a number. I'm like, no, it's no number. It's
I'd ask. Look,
just in case, like, the universe want to do some weird shit, and somebody in a suit come knock on my door tomorrow morning. I got my number.
Okay,
I got my number. It's cool. My kids good. We straight.
Do you think if they offered reparations to black people to get the Yamin, they'd like line up?
What did you say that again?
Do you think
do not give them ideas, Nicco?
Yeah, bro. I was like, don't say that shit. Hey, look, everybody that goes down to Walgreens today gets a free pair of Jordan 1s, bro.
Look, sometimes there are bots sometimes bots come into our chat and they say some bullshit, but this is dead on.
That's right. Yes. This is why I am pretty certain, because his name is Scott.
It's definitely.
I'm pretty sure that this is Scott because he knows me well.
Look at Dutch. That's
they did it for donuts.
They did it for Lollapalooza tickets out here. So I mean,
right.
Oh no, but there are people who literally did it for donuts. Like they were.
Damn, like 5 minutes of joy for the rest of your life.
Hey, 5 minutes, bro. And I can eat a dozen donuts in 5 minutes.
Like, shit, stupid, bro.
Jeez. Right, I know.
They should have at least given them one of those little Krispy Kreme things with the 12 stickers on it or whatever, where you get to go. The little punch card that they sell at like basketball games, and like where the kids go around door to door and try to sell for their Boy Scouts or something like that. Should have at least given everybody one of those cards. A donut.
A donut. Right. Not even fresh donuts. These motherfuckers been sitting on the tray.
They're gonna try to blame Krispy Kreme, say that the donut caused myocarditis.
Right. What I don't get is who's the fucking idiot who's like, I ain't getting that shit donut. All right.
Motherfuckers got me. This is my weakness. Oh no. I come put his donut. It's like putting a donut on a treadmill, and it's like seeing how fast people go and get. Like, you're not gonna get it, dog. Like it was pointless. This whole thing was pointless.
Oh my gosh,
for sure.
And now it's gone.
Oh bro, that's the thing. Imagine you held out and you held out and you held out, and then they dropped the OSHA thing, and they were like, "Look, man, it's time. The deadline's up." And I know that shit's going to the Supreme Court, but you know what? We're moving through, because that's where we were with my wife. Like, her employer had already like said like this is going to be the thing, and they had, so it was like that or like mask and test. Mm-hmm. She's like, I'm not doing any of it.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing a mask to school. Mm-hmm. I'm not getting tested every week. We've never gotten tested.
Mhm.
Not going to.
No need.
And so that was the push, and it was like it was going to be like the next, I don't know, like a week, whatever it was. I think it was like February 9th, I think was when it was supposed to hit or something like that. And the Supreme Court thing kind of went away, but it was like, imagine you're one of those people who like they got to that point and they weren't as strong as she was,
Right?
And they were like, oh, "Fuck, man, I guess I got to go do it." They made their appointment, they went and got it, and now it's like a month and a half later, and you just like, for real, like none of that shit is required anymore.
Bye-bye.
Oh yeah, no, a
Too
lot
late,
of people
man.
are about to look kind of gonna have to wipe some drool from their chin from looking stupid because like there's no like, come on now, like they're out now like pulling a lot of these things back, and you gonna be like, I still need my booster, like, bro, are you serious?
Look,
they crab trapped the whole damn population, man.
They got everybody, and they did it the right way. As fucked up as this is to say, they did it the right way, because can't none of them get sued for none of this shit.
Nope.
No, for sure.
Motherfuckers got osteoarthritis at 22 and shit, and just like, oh, what's wrong with me?
See, for me,
I wonder why.
I'm not even worried about the shit that we already know. I'm worried about what we don't. What the fuck is this going to do to the next goddamn generation? What the fuck is going to happen to the kids that get produced from this shit?
Who knows?
You know?
And that was that. I think that part right there is what like drove me personally like to my breaking point. It was just like, I'm crazy. I'm thinking too hard, or I'm doing the most, and my opinions are fringe and all this other shit. Everybody I talked to, I'd ask them the same question. Do you know what the long-term results of this shit are? Well, no, don't nobody know. So you are willingly a crash test dummy.
Right.
And I'm crazy.
Well, there were other people who were worse than that, though. Like Marcus and I know somebody who we used to work together on this campaign that we used to work for. Everybody knows, they can connect the dots. Everybody who doesn't, sorry. But anyway, this person was like, like bullying people on Facebook and shit like that. Basically saying like the data's in. And I'm like, how's the data in? Like, it's been like 3 weeks, 3 months. Now it's been 6 months. Now it's been 8 months. What data is in? Like,
right.
You can't tell me that shit. Like, there are people who they weren't just saying we don't know the side effects. They were saying that the only side effects you can possibly have are going to be done within a few days, because it just like is done. Like, it comes in, it drops off the message, and then it leaves.
Yeah, you might get a little bit of a headache.
You know what message? Do you know what message it left though?
Right.
I mean, you remember when Jeff Goldblum and Will Smith went up in that fucking spaceship and they dropped that shit in there, and then they took off and hauled ass back to Earth?
Yeah.
They were only in there for a little while to drop off a message.
Just sprinkle a little sauce on it.
But it blew up all them fucking spaceships.
Right.
That was a perfect analogy. That was great. Perfect. That was perfect. Because look, I actually going back to my normie family. My uncle has a podcast, and it's on Twitch, and I'm not even going to give him no love. I'm sorry. But like, I was having a discussion about like certain things revolving around what we've been through for the past like 2 years. And he was like, are you serious? I love you, nephew, but I thought I taught you better. And I'm like, I thought you taught me to use my brain and think outside the box and not really be like stuck into this. He was
but not outside this box. Stay right here, locked in this box.
Kiss my
ass box.
My aunt was like, I was telling them, I was like, you know how long it takes for a regular you dig to be made, right? And she was like, well, no, it's like 3-4 years. I'm like, no, it's 5 to 10. You think I'm gonna sit down, bro? Y'all don't even get documents that are like 9,000 pages or 55 pages for like 75 years.
Yeah.
What? Like, y'all can't put
500 pages a year for 75 years or some shit. It's like, all right, well, I hope those first 500 are really, really full of information, because it's gonna be a while.
Yeah, and they're gonna redact the shit anyway. They're not gonna actually share it.
That joke will be blank as shit.
Yeah, right.
It's like the instruction sheet for the Yamin, bro.
Yeah. So, Mike, you remember when you said the thing about I gotta find this picture because it has the statement that they made on it. But you were talking about how they did it slick because nobody's liable for any of this shit, right? Let me close that. Hang on. Yeah. So what they did, I'm gonna show you this other shit with what they did on this OSHA bullshit. Well, it's gonna be too hard for me to search and find it. But they actually there's a code where employers are supposed to report side effects of things that happen on the that are part of the job site or any of that kind of stuff. They relieved them of that requirement, that reporting requirement. I'll get I'm gonna find y'all go ahead. Y'all take that and run with it, and then I'll read the actual statement when I find it.
Without sounding too much like a domestic T word. Motherfucker, we are at war, bro.
No, facts, bro.
Sure.
Like,
and have been since the beginning of time.
And have been, but it's like, yeah, you done some shit. Like, I know you fucked with the water, you spraying this shit in the air, you made everybody. You have attacked people, bro. Broken up families, destroyed children. Motherfuckers can't talk right.
Yeah.
Like, okay, folks, you worried about what's going on over here and some shit. These motherfuckers on TikTok telling you fucking fireplace stories and all this dumb shit. But right here at home, they're actually attacking niggas, and you worried about oh, did you see what Kanye said about Pete Davis? He'll get the fuck out of my face, bro.
For sure.
If you don't respect that whole ordeal, I think you're inhuman, because Pete Davis and Kanye West deserve the kind of spectacles that they're getting, because their life truly matters. Okay,
nigga, Kanye break me off for like 7 million, then I'll care about that nigga. Until then,
before you do this, Chad, I want to wrap up what they're talking about. While they're busy with the Utes and the Ruskies, this is going to capture what Hotep Withit just said. This is a very old quote by Adam Kokesh, but it is very important to what you just said. Oops, let me pull down the banner.
Yep.
Adam Kokesh said, "The greatest enemies of the Constitution are not to be found in some far-off land, but right here at home." So our enemies are not overseas. Putin ain't doing shit to me.
Right.
His Putin can stay right the fuck where he's at. I don't give a fuck. He ain't doing shit to me. Fucking those other people over there, they ain't doing shit to me.
Nope.
But these bastards threaten to fucking take my ability to feed my children away because I refuse to fucking obey. My enemy is not outside of my influence. My enemy are the people who are trying to directly hurt my family.
And Marcus, I think you used too nice of a word when you called them bastards. Our public servants.
Yes.
I want to address them in the hierarchy term, whatever the fuck you want to call it, to let them know that they are underneath us. You do not hold no kind of weight above me. You're not better than me. You're not smarter than me, because I can come up with a bunch of solutions that you motherfuckers will sit here and deliberate for years on end and still not get nowhere and spend all kinds of money and fuck this economy up. The public servants that were elected by the American people through our system of democracy have attacked us, attacked our children, and attacked future generations while we sit here and worry about what they're doing over there. Yeah, that's all I got.
Yep.
Facts. Oh, all right, also, this is a smoke screen, because if nobody know what's cracking in the, I don't even know if I can say that one, but Waitan. So like, it starts with a T and ends with one.
Yeah.
So
you better not address them.
Tyrone and Juan.
G come in and be all pissed off.
You better get John Cena ready to do the next episode. You talk about that shit.
Yeah, right. That's a funny one. That was pretty good. Oh shit. All right, so I'm gonna read this thing. I'm not gonna read some of the code words that get shit in trouble or whatever, but here we go. So this is a question. Are adverse recations from the vacation recordable on the OSHA record-keeping log? DOL and OSHA, as well as other federal agencies, are working diligently to encourage vacations. OSHA does not wish to have any appearance of discouraging workers from receiving their vacation, and also does not wish to disincentivize employers' vacation efforts. As a result, OSHA will not enforce 29 CFR 1904's recording requirements to require any employers to record worker side effects from vacation at least through May 2022. We will reevaluate the agency's position at that time to determine the best course of action moving forward. This was before the Supreme Court basically overturned that shit.
They covered their ass.
Yeah. So the manufacturer is inoculated. The OSHA, your employer is inoculated, and then they pretend like you are inoculated,
right?
Because you ain't inoculated at all.
You can't make this shit up, dude. This is wild.
Yeah, for sure.
And there was a time where I know, like, the nurses and stuff, when this whole thing had started happening, the people were like first started recording some of the
TikToks. Oh no, I'm just joking.
How do I the opposite day actions? I hate this shit because I'm trying to come up with words and shit. Like some of the nurses were reporting on things happening.
Oh yeah, right.
And they were like, "Yo, when we take these people in, we're not asking them if they had been Yamin." Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that's the whole point. Like, that's what this is why VAERS exist. This is what you're supposed. Oh no, we're not doing that because they don't want to know. And I'm like, all right, fuck it, bro.
Aren't we supposed to, like?
I thought you
have
meant
a whole scientific, like, isn't there a whole method on like collecting data that they're missing? Like, and people aren't recognizing it. Like, you went to science class. You didn't even have to think. You were brainwashed in this, so you should know how things come together to a degree.
Right. You would think so.
So I do want to kind of come back to your story, Mike. What brought you back? What brought you back to trying again? Because I want to try to move towards hope.
What brought me back? All right. I don't want to give this man too much credit, but I'm going to give him a little bit of credit. Joe Rogan, before he did his whole apology thing, because he was on a rampage for a couple episodes where he was like, "Oh, they shitting on my name, they saying this," and he was backing his shit up, you know.
He's trying to keep that bag, man.
Yeah, and I don't blame him. You know what I mean? $100 million, I do a lot of shit for $100 million. You know what I'm saying? But like before the apology, he was like 10 toes on what he had said and what he believed in, and there was so many people that maybe didn't agree with his politics or the way that he viewed things with the Yamin that couldn't argue against the proof that he was like presenting.
Right.
And then there was kind of like this shift because I wasn't on Twitter, but I had like a burner account and I was watching. You know what I mean? I'm still watching in the ether. I'm on YouTube. I'm seeing these conversations happen. And it kind of started to seem like you know how like you watch like what movie? This is a Pixar movie I watch with my daughter, but like they showed like the heart, and the heart says little glow, and it's like this, it's like real small, but then you see it get bigger, and it felt like it was starting to get bigger. I was like, all right, well, it seems like maybe people are more receptive. Let me jump back in.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think that things have shifted. I think that they've gone too far. And they continue to go too far. I think that this what we started talking about, the Utes and the Ruskies and possibly the Taekwondo masters will so I think that these people have gone too far and people are figuring it out. You can say all you want that the 70% of the population are sheep. Okay, I buy that. I'm not trying to get the sheep. Sheep will follow anybody that herds them.
Yep.
Exactly.
I'm not trying to get them. I'm not trying to get at them. I'm trying to get at the people.
More shepherds.
Right. I'm needing other shepherds. I'm needing to get and honestly,
fancy canes.
Right.
I could print you one.
Hey, yeah, I'll throw you some chop for that. Let me get one of the fancy canes. I'm gonna like, yo,
I'm working on it. It's like a prototype. First iteration prototype for the Hotep Nation Grifties.
Hey, shouts out to Chad.
This is a small mock-up. This is not. They're going to be like this tall. Anyway,
hey, awesome. At the end of the day, shouts out to you because it's like I like wholeheartedly appreciate Marcus and Chad because it's like they're fighting for niggas. Like there's not a lot of people out here who go 10 toes and be like, I can't say the word, but that's my N word. Like, no, like he, right. I rocks with y'all 110%.
I'll say it straight up. I know niggas that don't fight for niggas like y'all.
You feel me?
There's a reason.
I appreciate that. That's
I do too. The reason's very simple. The reason that Chad and I come here and we do love the Hotep Nation, and frankly love Black people, is because we find
Jerry Maguire after this bitch.
Right.
I love Black people.
Right, for sure. but the reality is, I'm opposing an enemy that wants to kill my kids. And there's a certain group of people in this country that have been fighting the people that have been killing their kids for like 400 or 500 years. I need to learn from these motherfuckers. These are my allies. These are the people that know how to fight. So I need beyond the fact that I see everybody as I've never been like a person that looks at somebody and says, oh, that's a Black person. I don't like discount it. When I see somebody, I'm not blind. Right. I can see. I know that they're coming from.
I'm glad you said that because I was a little worried where you were going with this. I was like, oh shit! Don't tell me he's colorblind.
No. I mean, I see the cultural heritage. I recognize all that shit. I see it all. But it doesn't fucking matter to how I treat you. It doesn't fucking matter whether you're black, pink, purple, or green. And if you are pink, purple, or green,
you need to go to a doctor.
Go to a doctor. This is not healthy.
Unless you're an alien, go to a fucking doctor.
Find a good disciple of Dr. Sebi though. Don't go to these motherfuckers who probably made you green, purple, or pink in the first place.
For sure.
You got to go to the doctor that's on a hit list. Right. Like that.
But I don't give about this shit about all that stuff. But I do recognize that there's been a struggle. And it really started when I found Malcolm X and when I found Frederick Douglass. And I was like, oh shit. This is what I'm fucking talking about. This is it. This is these people fucking get it. And it was compounded when Chad introduced me to Hotep Jesus and Uncle Hotep. I was like, all right, more motherfuckers that get it. And then the next thing I know, I'm surrounded by Hoteps going, yeah, these are my motherfuckers. These are the people that I want to hang out with. And don't get me wrong, love my anarchist brothers and sisters. They're all awesome. But Hoteps are right there. And they're and most of them are minarchs at the minimum. But because they see the fuckery that's afoot.
Yep.
And so for me, and plus, I mean, come on, guys, I've been practicing voodoo for fucking like 15 years.
That's a nigga religion. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I mean, come on. So, but at the end
Marcus says he's like, I don't have black friends. My God is black.
That's right.
That's right. So wait. If you were to use that, would you be considered racist? Like, I don't know. No, I don't got black. I mean, I got black friends, but like, I have a black God too. Like,
all hail Black Jesus. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. But no,
shoot, man.
To me, we were fighting the battles, and these motherfuckers have been fighting these battles forever. And so why are they any different? And the answer is they're not. And so ultimately, what I want to say, to move this a little bit, because we are coming on to 2 hours, so I want to try to start to wrap up. But what I want to do is, the solutions that we look for are found in the faces of the 4 people here, in the coalition that we are building amongst thousands of people. And I mean thousands. You might say, well, how are you building? Because we're touching people who touch people who touch people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're influencing. We have influencers. Aquarian Anarchy has influencers that appear on Fox News frequently.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact.
Yep.
And so we are influencing thousands of people. There is hope. This movement, whether you're talking about Hotep or you're talking about anarchism or you're talking about voluntarism, libertarianism, the idea that we own ourselves is growing.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately we have the state to thank for that, because they have shown how absolutely fucktarded they are.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, people are going, okay, I gotta find something else because this data thing ain't working.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And so ultimately, people like you, Mike, are required. We need you, because we need all hands on deck. You're going to reach people I'm not going to reach. And we need you to reach them, because
Cassius Cam, Canon Hotep, all those guys too.
Right.
Dutch is even doing his thing. He's got his
right
shit working on his Netherlands grift.
Because we are not done yet. They have shown us that they can move from a silly disease to a silly war in 2.3 seconds. And we don't know what's coming next. So we need everybody, boots on the ground, ready to build your community. This is the key. We're not building an army to fight and kill. We're building an army to build communities and make these motherfuckers irrelevant. So I don't have to fucking worry about your wife getting fired. I don't have to worry about my sister-in-law having to get the fucking shit. I don't have to worry about fucking Chad's fucking daughter being offered $500 by somebody she should trust.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the good thing I have is my kids are like she laughed and then she came and like snitched. She's like,
good shit.
This motherfucker tried to offer me $500 to get this bullshit.
Hey, you know what though? I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you,
dude, bro. I had to ride out, bro.
That sounds
exactly it's a long ride. It's like 7 hours away.
Quiet ride. It would have been a lot of DMX playing in the car, dog.
Oh shit! And then if I start falling asleep, I'll be like, I'm slipping.
Go ahead, Nicco. What were you saying?
No, I was gonna say is like that instance just remind me of like the guy with the van offering candy to the kids, and it's like, nigga, go home.
Like, I would just rather offer my support to the you.
To the you.
Just want to remind everybody that this is how you show your support for the people over there fighting for their lives.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I don't want to look. I'm not. I said this before. Let me say it again because the people who just saw that might not have been watching earlier. But I don't want to make light of it. I don't want anybody to die. I want everybody to live a happy, fulfilling life and make their way to God. In the best way possible. However, we are in a media and propaganda and other sort of campaign of, suspicious skycloth war and what else do I call it? A pretend pennant, a bogus banner. Anyway, these are, because that word that has a flag in it, that's one of those words that triggers the algorithm. So I came up with my own versions that don't trigger the algorithm. So I think suspicious skycloth is my favorite though.
The word that has a flag in it.
Yeah, it's the flag of the untrue kind.
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah. So,
I got you.
Anyway, there's a whole bunch of, as is the case, and we find out about these things just like we're going to find out about the truth about the magic bug. Is that it's going to be buried right next to the WMDs that Saddam Hussein had, and it's going to be something that if we find out anything about it, it'll be 20 some odd years later, like we did with the fake Kuwaiti babies or fake Iraqi babies that were being thrown out of
by
incubators or whatever,
by the prince's niece,
the Saudi, yeah. It's like, hey, look,
And
y'all,
all the other fake
we need some help with this oil shit over here. Don't it sound familiar?
Oh, dude.
And I swear I saw some babies being thrown out of incubators. Psych. But anyway, that's. I mean, look, like I said, like people are really dying. There's really some shit going down. And I said this. I have a little Telegram group with some guys that we talk about this shit. And I was like, this is kind of the rinse repeat recipe. It's is something happening? Yeah, something's happening. Is it what they're telling you it is? No. Are they and their friends getting rich off of it? Yes. Are they going to ever tell you the truth about it? No. Are they going to use it as a power play to steal more of your freedom away and consolidate more of your resources and the world's resources into their hands? Yes.
Yep.
Rinse, repeat. Don't fall for this shit.
Speaking of, this is off. Well, I guess it's on the same subject, but so New Hampshire, where I'm at, our state motto is "Live free or die."
Right.
Our governor is Governor Chris Sununu. This morning, while I was doing my morning bowel movement, you feel me? I was scrolling through my local news website, and I saw that they have banned the sale of all Ushin spirits in the state of New Hampshire.
Holy shit!
What? You can't get no Stoli or Smirnoff or anything.
No, none of that. Zanka, all that shit. Gone.
God,
that's the dumbest shit ever.
And I was
sorry
like,
for the drunks.
They seriously, they went freedom fries with that shit. They're like,
I was shook, dude. I was sitting there on the toilet. I was just
fries
like, this
anymore.
is real, bro. This is happening in New Hampshire of all places, too.
Right.
But I remember my father-in-law, may he rest in peace. He was a good man, but man, he was a normie. He just sat there watching Fox News. He would love Bill O'Reilly. He watched Fox News 24/7 damn near. If he wasn't watching Blue Bloods or one of those other fucking rerun CBS shows or something like that. But we were out somewhere and he ordered something and it came with French fries. And he was like, I don't want the French fries. And they're like, why not? He was like, because they didn't support us in Iraq. And I'm like, bro, that's the boycott.
Wendy's, buddy.
That and the vodka thing is the boycott equivalent of like posting the black square.
Yeah,
like you're not doing anything. What do you really think that is gonna? Oh my god,
the potatoes came from Idaho, bro.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Like there's manufacturing plants for
Chad, you're breaking up a bit.
Yeah, I thought that was me. I thought my shit was.
No, that was me. My bad. No, there's like these manufacturing plants from all these foreign car manufacturers in the States. Like you're hurting people here by doing that shit. And it's also like it's a fucking hollow move. Like it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
You're literally doing nothing.
All I got to say is if they want to throw out fucking Dan Aykroyd's skull vodka that they've got, they want to throw that shit out, throw it my way. I love the bottles. I make use of fucking skull bottles like crazy. I throw them my way. If you're going to dump it out, that's fine. I don't like vodka anyway. Go on and dump that out. I'll take the bottle. So
that's tough.
So again, the good news is that I really think they've gone too far and people are seeing it. And I think we're going to see one of the things that I've said in the past that I think is true is that we're going to have about 10 years, I think, maybe 10 to 20 years. It's going to be rough. And it's going to be really rough for people like us. But after that 10 to 20 years, I think their grave is already going to be dug and we're going to be pushing them in it. And because I really think, now I'm not saying that 10 years from now, we're going to have anarchy. That's not what I'm saying. But I think that we will evolve to what is going to be less government, because I think that this happens slowly, and I think that it happens incrementally. It could be done with secession. It could be done with other means. I don't know how it's going to go down, but I think that it's going to go down, and I think it's going to go down within the next 10 years. And if we can make it, if we can get our families through that, I think they're going to be better off. And so the most important things to do is to teach your kids how to do the shit that they're not teaching them. Teach them how to balance it. And some of it's not all anarchist shit. It's not all, buy Bitcoin, garden, all that shit. It's not only that. Teach them how to love one another. Teach them how to balance a checkbook. Teach them how to budget. Teach them how savings good, borrowing bad. Yes, you have to borrow sometimes, but try not to.
Right.
Teach them those basic things that they're not getting in school, because they're not getting it in school. Right. And as we do that, we teach our kids how to rebuild. We teach them how to put things together, because we can have all the fucking philosophy we want. If they don't know how to build it, it's not going to fucking matter. Exactly. They have to know that, and they're not getting it. So teach your kids, place seeds. One of the things, it was I'm sorry, I'm horrible with names, like Shaka Amos or something.
Yeah, Shaka Amos. Yeah.
Okay. Hotep Jesus interviewed him probably a year or two ago, and I caught it. And one of the things that he talked about, not Hotep Jesus, but the other dude, one of the things that he talked about was that when he came to Hotep, he wasn't interested in it when he was a kid, because it was, they were wearing weird clothes and they were doing all that stuff, and he didn't want to be a part. He wanted to, hang out with his buddies and, do the shit that teenagers do. Yep. He said, but they planted seeds. And when he grew up enough to appreciate what his parents had taught him, those seeds turned into buds, and those buds turned into him. Yep. And that's what we have to do. We have to plant those seeds. They're not going to get it. I have a wonderful, amazing, almost 12-year-old daughter who does not understand half the shit I'm talking about. But the seeds are planted.
Exactly. Yep.
Well, you gotta let her be a kid too, though. Right. I mean, on a certain level, that's like my youngest is going to be 13 in a couple of months, and it's similar. Like he's picked up on some of it and everything. One of the funny things is we had a computer that like the Wi-Fi stopped working, and I worked on it for like half a day trying to fix it. And I was like, damn, it doesn't. This thing doesn't work. He's like, yeah, Hotep's been told you. And I was like, kiss my ass, little bastard. This is like 3 years ago almost. This little bastard's like saying this shit to me. I'm like, I hate you. 10 or 9 or something like that. So he knew some shit to say. But like I think you got to let them be a kid, let them enjoy that. Don't steal their innocence away too soon. But yeah, plant those seeds in a way that like, and some of it just comes from being the kind of parent that that doesn't do the do this because I told you
right
bullshit. Like look, I'm going to explain to you why this is important, so that you can understand, so that you can actually like start to make these decisions without me having to tell you, and also so that you don't fight me on it, and then we don't have to have a disagreement over like you just not understanding the deeper reason why it's important to go this way instead of that way. And then if you still end up trying to go the other way, I already told you. And then when that shit happens, I don't have to say I told you so. You're going to be telling yourself that shit.
I am that child. I am that child. Really? Like, man, parents, you know what I mean? A little abrasive at first, you know what I mean? You should do this, you should do that, you should do this. And then I remember it was my dad. He was like, bro, look, I gave you the building blocks, but I can't walk for you. You do what you got to do. And I think I was like 24. I remember I called him. It was a Saturday. It was like 11:30 in the morning. Called him. I was like, Pops. He was like, I know. Just say it. And I was like, you was right. He was like, I've been waiting for this.
I got two. I got two down. Same deal. Two of my 4 I've already had that conversation.
Yep.
Got 2 waiting.
But the other thing that's important too, because I I'm not going to get into the details or whatever. We can talk about it after when we get off the air, Mike. But so like I had something happen to me this week that was pretty. I'm not going to call it devastating. It was difficult and it was very. It was frightening. So what I was going to say is that I've been going through this process for about 3 months now, where I'm going through this meditation book that I've done for almost 20 years now. But I've done it kind of off and on, and now I've committed to doing this, and I drop like a little video every morning, kind of summarizing it. But and I did that. Part of that was because I wanted to get the message out, but a lot of it also was to make sure that I kept myself accountable to do it every day, so I wouldn't take a day off, because it's been really tough the last few weeks, and I've had to kind of drag myself to it some days. But this thing that happened to me, it's crazy. And Marcus said something about like, this is kind of like what happens in magic, where like you're kind of speaking spells, and like you initiated yourself into a process, and now that process is starting to kind of take place. And this thing that happened to me, it's crazy how what I was reading and what I was meditating on, like both kind of foreshadowed and also prepared me for what I had to deal with. And what I would say is that, because what I had to deal with was on the level of like taking everything or nearly everything away from me. Okay. And recognizing that, like, I actually had a moment where I was like, it'd be really, really difficult. It'd be super tough. And I'm not completely out of the woods yet, but I'm building shit back or whatever to get
the light now.
I haven't seen the light now. But I was kind of knocked back to this place of like, man, you really need to make sure you appreciate what you do have, that this would not affect, your wife, your parents, your kids, your mother-in-law. She lives with us, and I might lose this house and everything, but like the shit that I have and my relationship with God, all that stuff is solid.
Yep.
And growing and getting stronger. And in a certain sense, it's almost like the threat of having all that stuff taken away from me was kind of like this, I don't know, like Thanos moment for me, where I was like, yeah, okay. And what? Like you can't touch what's in here.
Right.
You know, you can take everything from me. I'm not trying to invite this shit, but you can take everything from me. And this
solid
isn't going anywhere. And that's why, like, it's so weird that, because you were supposed to be on last week, and I don't know that it would have been as impactful for me, at least. Oh shit, I'm glitching again.
We can hear you.
Okay, good. All right. If y'all can hear me, I'll keep going. For me, at least, it wouldn't have been as impactful to have you on and talk about what you went through had I not gone through what I went through. And I waited until now to talk about it, because I didn't want that to be like intertwined with your story and everything. But I feel like you voluntarily just kind of like hitting the flamethrower on a certain aspect of your life in order to preserve your sanity and your spirit and everything. Your soul is kind of like, I didn't do that voluntarily. It happened to me. And I don't know, in a way, I almost kind of feel like it's an example of what I don't think it's entirely true all the time, but what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I mean, I don't think cutting off all your arms and legs and your head makes you stronger. Well, no, that would kill you. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of things that would make you not stronger. But mentally maybe, spiritually, but sure as hell not going to be physically stronger. This I think has put me in a place where I think I'm in a better place than I was a week ago, even though I'm still like constantly fucking looking over my shoulder, because I still don't feel like it's over yet. But I'm working towards it being over, and it's going well. But yeah, that's where. Anyway, I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling at this point because I've got a lot of shit that's on me right now, and I don't know how to say it without revealing too many details that I don't want to reveal to everybody. But but anyway, it was rough. It was a rough ordeal that I went through. So
I'm happy that you're here and that, you know what I mean, you made it through and that you on the positive upside of it. You know what I mean? You still going through it. The way, like, when I went through my whole episode and everything that I went through, like when I was doing that soul searching, because when I say it was quiet, like I turned off social media, bro. I wasn't watching TV. I wasn't listening to the podcast. I wasn't talking to people. Like I disappeared. You feel me?
No, like, I tried to text you and shit like that. And I got nothing. I was like, damn, man, I hope he's okay.
Yeah, you know, I was gonna bring that up because you did reach out. You know what I mean? And you was one of a few people that reached out, and it wasn't nothing personal. You know what I mean? I don't think you.
Yeah, no, it's all like that. It's all good. I heard later, what I heard from kind of through the grapevine, like that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna let him have his space because it seems like he needs it. So
I appreciate it because I was like we had touched on before. I was like, I gotta get me right and make sure I'm solid before I open myself to any other branches and accept any energy before my energy is good. And like through that process, like spiritually, mentally, physically, I view like every part of myself and everyone else as a muscle. So whatever you go through, like when you work out, that shit hurt. You know what I'm saying? You break it down, you end up sore and everything like that. So I view everything as a muscle. And when you go through trial and tribulation, you just working that muscle. You know what I mean? Now it's up to you to decide, oh, I'm sore. I don't feel like doing these push-ups. I don't feel like going to the gym. Or it's like, nah, you know what? I'm sore. So let me not work that. Let me work something else. And then when this in this sore, I want to touch that again and then just keep, you know what I mean? That's how I looked at it. And it sounds like that's where you at. And you on that side where it's still sore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you're working through it.
I kind of feel more like the bar is on my chest and it's about 350 and I didn't have it in me to bench that. And I need a spotter to come get that shit off of me. But I get your metaphor. Yes, it's kind of like that. But yeah,
well, you got 3 spotters right here for sure.
right.
That's right. Yeah, that's the thing. This is why we build community.
Yeah, I got some people with some lawyers that are spotting me right now too. So
see, look, some good spotters.
Yeah.
So well, when you're dealing with somebody who it's partially their responsibility that this shit happened, then they get involved and they try to take responsibility. So that's a good thing because I don't think they want what's on the other side of them not taking responsibility for it. So anyway, it's all good. But yeah, no, I appreciate that though because it's been rough, but I think it's made me I don't know, more aware and more vigilant, I guess, about some shit that I was kind of taking for granted and the biggest part, though, that I wanted to go back to that my takeaway from it was like, it's so important for the really, really important things to be and that's why it's so cool that you went silent and dark like that, because I really think it's so easy to have all this noise and all these influences, all this stimulus to take our eyes off of the things that are, and in my, for me, it's me and my relationship with God that is being reinforced. And because I had this last 2 years, that's the thing. I didn't cut so many family and friends off. I cut God off.
Yeah.
Because when I saw what they did to churches and that the churches were just like, yeah, that's cool. I was like, well, I'm not going over there anymore. What the hell am I, what's the point? Speaking of which, I got to go. We're going at 8:00, but, which is 9:00 y'all's time, I guess. But anyway, not Nicco's. But no, I needed to get back to, because I realized I'm like, that's not me, and that's not what I believe. Like I'm letting the decisions made by a bunch of dumbasses get between me and God, because they were between me and God already, and I let them put a wall up for me, and I didn't say you can't put that wall up. And so I've been tearing down that wall for the last 3 months. And this was my way of kind of getting thrown baptism by fire. Who God was like, oh yeah, you want to talk about poverty? All right, let's see. Woo!
Yeah.
And so I had my brush with death in that sense, and so I'm I don't know. I don't think if I had been going through that meditation book, I don't know that I would have handled it like I did. I think I would have been like blaming God and like, throwing my hands up and just, I would have probably been depressed and like, not that it hasn't, like I haven't been able to think about much else. So it's been weighing on me, but
right.
I haven't let it get me depressed and down and not doing shit, Anyway, sorry. I didn't mean to dump on everybody.
Man, you better not apologize for getting that shit off your chest, Chad. Don't make me reach through this computer screen, dog. Don't do that. Get that shit out, bro.
I had to exercise.
You wildin', dog.
Yeah.
So Nicco, do you have anything you want to? Because we should start wrapping up. Because like Chad said, he has to get to church, and I have to get my grub on. And
do this girl's hair.
There you go.
Shouts out to my man's. Wait, are you gonna twist it or are you gonna lock it? What?
She got all right. So she mixed, right? She got hair like what's that old school child actor, Animal Crackers, and
Lucy Lou or whatever the fuck.
Lucy Lou.
Not in Lucy.
Oh, you're talking about
Anna or Annie or what?
Shirley Temple.
Shirley Temple. That's it.
Yeah,
so she mixed, right? Dog. When her hair get wet, it's like all the way down to her butt. It's so curly, so I gotta go through it and like, I gotta detangle. She got Dr. Seuss week at school this week, so I gotta get it right.
I got you, fam. I mean, to end up on a high note, this was a blast. Bringing like you coming back, man. It was a joy being able to parlay and go back and forth. Many blessings to your people, my man, and stay strong out here. You already know how it goes. I just want to know, where are we posting up when shit hit the fan? Like, do we have like a favorite area that we want to try and slide to?
I know where I'm going.
Because like I got a few places, but like
Nicco,
I have a bunker
head south.
Yeah.
Nicco, you can make it to my house. I suggest it.
Okay,
I know that would be a good.
I know I'm going. I have to figure that out. Bad. Say less. No. This is very relieving, I would say the least, for a lot of us, and especially to bring back such a figure as yourself, man. Hey, look. You got a motherfucking fire crowd right behind you. Like you're walking through a dry ass forest and you got a torch and you can most definitely start some shit, my guy. I mean, Smokey the Bear would be pissed, but we don't care. Like we don't. Yeah, you feel me? So it's like, hey man, I appreciate you sliding through. Everybody go check out his stuff, man. Don't tweak on yourself. He dropped the gems, he dropped the knowledge.
That's right.
But hey man, welcome back, baby.
Yeah, for sure. The best. You and Shamika had the best MAGA raps by far. So I'm glad you're back. I'm just waiting for the anarchy raps.
No, don't do that. Don't put that pressure on me. I'm gonna have to draw something tonight.
Oh shit. Okay, let's go. All right. Hey, we already got people making songs for us. We wouldn't turn it away.
For sure. We'll see what happens. See if those magical herbs get the juices flowing later.
Right on. So, all right. Mike, do you have any closing words you'd like to leave people with? And then we'll go ahead and close down.
Before I talk to the people, I want to talk to y'all, three fine gentlemen. I appreciate y'all for having me on. This is the first comeback conversation that I've had since I've made my return. And like Nicco said, this shit right here, it felt good. You know what I mean? Talking to y'all, getting the shit off my chest, explaining, listening to Chad, Marcus, Nicco, all of y'all. Like you said, building community. This is where it's at. You know what I mean? And we just got to keep doing this and just keep touching people and planting the seeds where they need to be planted and just keep pushing. And then as far as the people, bro, man, all I'm going to say, I don't want to end on a bad note. Just keep your head on a swivel, bro. That's it. Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay focused. Keep your eye on the prize. Don't get caught up in the smoke screens and the distractions. If they tell you to look left, you better look right and behind you, all that good stuff.
And duck.
You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Just make sure that no matter what situation you go into, just keep your energy pure. You know what I mean? Even if they try you, they test you, they try to get you down. Whatever they try to do, you got to do the opposite and just make sure you stay as solid 100% at all times. That's it.
Facts.
All right, everybody out there, you ready, Chad?
Not yet. Shit. I forgot. All right. I'm glad you said so. All right. Now.
Right on. So what I want everybody to do out there is stay free.
Did not end. Shit.